Miller was the star for Florida in their win against Butler in overtime, including the winner right with, what, 0.3 of a second to go.
Well, the setup play is made for Miller. He can do it outside. He can drive to the basket. A great all-around player, and he delivered for the Gators.
Frank Williams had his best game, the freshman from Illinois, in the win over Penn on Friday.
Williams did it in all areas, Jim. I thought he handled the ball extremely well. Of course, he had a very high-scoring game. He did everything you could ask for a team. Delivered the ball to the right people, and of course, there, as you see, took it to the basket.
Let's X and O here, the Illini attack today.
Well, they run a very good offensive structure, although they like to shoot from the outside. Here you're going to see a slip against the Penn defense that worked extremely well. Capalier and Williams will end up setting the screen situation. Capalier slipping through for an easy basket. Take a look at how it worked. Here we see Bradford going off Griffin and a little shuffle cut. And there's going to be a back screen situation for Capalier. Brown has the ball out in the wing. Penn gets confused here. Capalier slips through, makes the easy basket. Well conceived play.
Neat stories with the coaches. Lon Kruger, formerly at Florida. He'll lead Illinois going against Billy Donovan and the Gators.
We've got to handle their full court pressure. I think anytime you face a pressing team, you have to handle that to give yourself a chance. You've got to try to limit their second shots. They've got big guys and guard that just really crash their offensive boards. You've got to try to contest their three-pointers and yet not get so extended that it opens up their post-up game, which is very good inside.
We've got to do a great job containing their guards. When the ball goes inside, we've got to do a good job of not giving their front court players good looks. And I think rebounding and transition defense are certainly huge keys for us. And then us being able to do a good job running our offense against their very, very stingy defense.
Billy Donovan has improved his record each of the 4 years at Florida. No seniors in the starting lineup. 3 sophomores, a junior, and a freshman for the Gators. 25-7 on the year. Meanwhile, Illinois' lineup also devoid of a senior, with 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and the junior, led by Lon Kruger in his 4th year. He took the Florida Gators to the Final Four back in 1994 and will face his former program for the first time today. 2 teams very similar records, both from major conferences, both young and loaded. They go far beyond the starting 5, Billy.
Absolutely. So foul trouble should not be a factor in this game. Ball handling definitely will be.
Lon Kruger's 3rd trip to the tournament in 4 years at Illinois. They have not, in the other 2 appearances, gotten past the 2nd round, losing in 1997 to Chattanooga, 98 to Maryland.
Of course, this is the 3rd different team he has taken to the NCAA tournament. Real testimony to his ability to put together programs.
Kansas State, Florida, and Illinois. And the Illini has it first, decked out in white today.
Bradford takes DePay down inside, figuring he has an advantage with his ability to shoot over DePay.
So it went away, but there Haslam was on the baseline. Illinois ball. You mentioned Bradford playing with a broken nose, and he has struggled here. It's going back to the Big Ten tournament. His shot is off.
You're right about that, Jim. Here's Cook, who did not have a good game on Friday. Matter of fact, got very few playing minutes. Griffin did most of the playing in the inside post.
Brian Cook played only 13 minutes in that game against Penn.
And McClain out on Miller. This should be interesting. McClain loves to go ahead and have that tough assignment.
Rebound, Lucas Johnson. Big Ten versus SEC. The Big Ten having a good tournament. Michigan State, Purdue, and Wisconsin already advancing to the Sweet 16 with wins yesterday.
Johnson coming off a nice ball game.
Williams, not this time. Miller pulls it down.
Nobody there to rebound. A charge away from the ball. Johnson does a good job on right. Normally early in the ball game, officials will let that go and tell the guys, let's play the game. That one called quickly, and here's the full court press by Florida. This is a key to the game right now. Williams gets the inbound pass and turns the ball over. Not called.
Seldom do see that call.
That time he really used that as an advantage, Jim. Otherwise, he'd have had a walk.
Sergio McClain, Lucas Johnson, they work it around the perimeter. Bradford dumps it into McClain. Got Miller on his back. Needs some help.
There comes the double. The pass should have been to Williams.
Last touch by Hamilton. Illinois 12 seconds on the shot clock.
Both teams a little tight, not able to get anything going here. Really match up well, don't they, size-wise? There's the
near steal. 5 on the shot clock. Williams missed his first 2 after coming off 21 against Penn, a career high.
Williams has been playing very well of late against Penn State. He was 16-6, 11 against Michigan State in the loss, and as you say, Jim, 21 points, 3 assists. He was 6 for 9 in that game against Penn. So far, though, 0 for 2.
No score in this game. Almost 2 minutes elapsed.
Florida needs to get that ball to Miller, I think, to go ahead and see what McLean can do with it.
Dupay goes to Miller high. Williams on him.
Switch now with Miller on him. Miller and Williams.
Dupay, 6 on the shot clock. Goes inside, past 3 Illini members, but misfires on the shot. Up ahead, Bradford has some room, loses control of it, off Haslam.
That's twice now Dupay has been able to make a block. The first one, he stripped Bradford down low. Dupay got caught under the basket, so Corey Bradford did the right thing. He released and thought he had an easy 2.
Hook to center from the outside.
Bad shot selection so far for Illinois. Nobody underneath the basket.
Right out to Miller. He
Love
steps
the drive.
in. Same shot he beat Butler with. Comes down with the rebound. Kicks it back out. Just
good save by Hamilton.
Barely before it crossed midcourt.
Well, we're 3 minutes down and nobody has a point. Both teams playing very tight.
Hamilton, he did not even attempt a shot in the game against Butler, and he misfires on that attempt.
Johnson's 3rd rebound. No place to go.
Charge.
Now there's where Williams, the transition from a 2 guard to a point guard, has got to understand that he's got to stop at the foul line. He had the numbers, but he takes it 3 dribbles too many.
Haslam standing in there to draw the charge.
But Jim, he gave that up. He telegraphed his drive from about 20 feet out.
These teams are combined 0 for 10 from the field. Illinois ball. Last touch by Hamilton.
I'm looking for, if you're Florida, I think the guy's got to come into the ball game right now is Weeks to give them some scoring. Hamilton stays on the floor. They get Harvey in the game, who's a rebounder. Weeks has been their best scorer in postseason.
Bradford over Dupay. Miller with the rebound.
Bradford looking at Dupay, didn't see Haslam coming.
Miller to the corner. Dupay weaving in again. He'll go back out. Top of the key, Dupay. We finally have some points. A 3-pointer.
Dupay is short, but he's got unlimited range from the outside. Nice fadeaway move on his part.
Illinois picking up full court. Break it easily on the double team. Johnson, he stops at the free throw line. Cook is rejected by Miller.
Jim, that is the 3rd rejection of what could have been baskets for Illinois. Good job right here. Cook, normally an excellent finisher, but look at Miller. Really showing his versatility as a player. Florida playing a little zone in the out-of-bounds situation.
Bradford 3 again. At least one for every game in his career.
How about that, Jim? He's been trying to post up Dupay, having a size advantage the entire game. Then he finally steps out to his natural area offensively and buries the 3. Good reverse by Harvey on Johnson. Didn't work. Not going to play Harvey out there.
Harvey from the free throw line. Back of the rim. Blues. And Illinois, after finally hitting a shot, looking for 2 straight. Johnson, no.
Oh, wow, Williams.
That quick.
Well, Williams was loafing on the play. Harvey beat him to it.
Harvey puts it up. Followed up by Hamilton and a whistle.
Over the back.
Yep. Going against Florida.
And there was a case where Williams was standing just watching the ball. Harvey beat him to the spot.
A pair of threes, one on each side. That's all we have at the first break.
Just when you thought it was safe to leave your car in the parking lot, something evil will strike. You need a car tough enough to take it on. Chevy Malibu. With a steel safety cage, breakaway mirrors, a 6-layer paint process, and bounce-back bumpers, it's one tough car. Chevy Malibu. We'll be there.
Okay, sweetie, on your toes. Swing through the ball, through it. Eye on the ball, hon. We're working on the forehand. Okay, let's try backhand. We'll work backhand. Okay, you just need to connect with the ball. Let's stay in the game, sweetheart. Now, don't be afraid to charge the net.
How do you plan on financing your retirement? Conseco's annuities have tax advantages that can help. Conseco, step up.
My dad's had this store since I was a kid. Dad's motto was, the customer is always right. Never say no, if you can help it. The problem was,
Pack of smokes?
kids would try to buy cigarettes. You got an ID for those smokes?
Oh, come on.
It's illegal for me to sell them to anyone under 18. I have heard the lamest excuses.
Her dog ate my ID. You did?
We need them for a school science project.
They're not for us. They're for my mom outside. Mom, I look young for my age.
But that all changed a few years ago when this We Card program started. Now there's no argument. I just point to the sign.
We're committed to keeping cigarettes out of kids' hands. That's why Philip Morris is a major sponsor of the We Card program. It has educated hundreds of thousands of retailers on how to recognize fake IDs and uphold the law. And it lets kids know exactly where we and retailers across the country stand.
I'm not alone when I say no, and that's a big help.
Working to make a difference. The people of Philip Morris.
Based on the bestseller Donnie Brasco, Jason Gedrick in an extraordinary television event.
$5 for you. Not only do you get whacked, but I get whacked.
Foul Code begins CBS April 4th.
Back at Winston-Salem, and let's check in with Bonnie Bernstein.
Hi, Jim. Right before tip, you mentioned Lon Kruger is coaching his former team for the first time since '96, and everybody wants to make a big deal out of that, except Kruger, of course. He said, you know, it's one thing if I weren't that far removed from the situation, or if there were still players on the team who I coach, but that's just not the case. To note, though, there is one senior in Kenyon Weeks left who Kruger recruited, and his daughter Angie is actually a sophomore at Florida, well on the pre-med track, according to her proud father.
The proud father, indeed, and Weeks is on the floor for the first time. The player you mentioned, Bonnie, recruited by Lon Kruger to Florida, never played for the coach, though just recruited there, number 52. He's a guy who gives them quite a boost off the bench, had 13 in the opening round win on Friday.
Great shooter and scorer, Jim. Right now, the two teams are 2 for 17. Michigan State held Valparaiso in the first round, 1 for 17. Everybody wants to get to Indianapolis, but the Brickyard 500 there, this is NASCAR country, but you don't want to keep this up.
You're suggesting this has been a brickyard at the start of this game. It really has now. 1 of 9 on each side from the field. Miller.
I really like what Miller did right there. He recognized that he had a smaller man on him, took the ball inside. He is one of the most versatile players in all of college basketball.
And he makes the steal here, Billy. Krapalia giving chase. Won't get there.
And there's where he's such a good finisher as well.
Numbers for Illinois. Wallace Brown. Whistle first and a travel.
The lineup on the floor right now for Illinois needs to settle down a little bit and get into their offense some. They're playing, I think, Florida's basketball game right now, trying to play the transition game. Florida loves it.
Brent Nelson in the game. Brent Nelson, number 10, along with Brent Wright, 0-0. And then back in. Weeks come off the bench. Starter Miller inside. They go. Harvey. Go to the line for a pair. In the 90s, well, Illinois unable to get past the opening weekend. In fact, knocked out the first round a couple of times. Went to the Final Four in '89. For Florida, the Gators went to the Sweet 16 last year before they ran into a buzzsaw known as Gonzaga. The Bulldogs beat them in the round of the Sweet 16.
They're still buzzing, Jim. That game against St. John's yesterday was a fantastic basketball game. And you know how much we like the way St. John's plays. And I think the thing about Gonzaga you've got to consider is they took on a lot of people on the road earlier this year. People said, well, maybe they're not having a good season. but a great test for him, and I think it's really paying off now. And here again, we have Illinois, for some reason, wanting to get in a transition game. They've never gone to the half-court situation. Got Griffin and Krapalje in the game right now. They need to be playing half-court at a time.
Illinois has turned it over 3 straight possessions. Florida on a 6-0 tear. It's a tear in this game with as little scoring as we've had. In front of the rim for Nelson. Over to Brown. Uses the body as a shield and converts. Stolen away.
Oh, nice play by Williams.
Sets up for an open 3. Could have been a quick 5 for the Illini.
Might get it anyway.
Got 4 instead. Bradford.
And now they're giving the old adage, team that presses doesn't want to be pressed. Illinois looks like they're going to try it. Boy, Harvey's getting some big position on Griffin inside.
Major Parker seeing his first action.
Well, you know who stuck his nose in there? The man that has a nose that's going to be operated on tomorrow, Bradford, and Parker put a shoulder right into him. Well, look at these two right here, Griffin and Harvey. We're talking about 2 guys. There's where Bradford took a shoulder. Got out of the way in time.
Parker will shoot 2. 2 more subs for Illinois. The starters return. That's Lucas Johnson and Sergio McClain.
Florida, a very good free throw shooting team, shooting 70% on the year. We will have in the next game a great free throw shooting team in Duke and a woeful free throw shooting team in Kansas. Normally that will come to haunt you in the NCAA tournament. You got to make the free throw.
Bradford hit on the hand when he released it. He'll go to the line for 2. Yes, we have 1 seed Duke taking on Kansas, the 8th seed. An enviable position, many feel, for Roy Williams' team to be such an underdog. And really 2 storied programs, no doubt, that met in the 1991 championship game.
There you go back.
Talked about Bradford's broken nose.
Watch this. Here's what I was talking about before. Look at him stick his head right in here. Bam! Ooh, whoa. And you know, the doctors say the contact he had the other day settled the nose up a little bit. Maybe he's going to have it taken care of without the operation.
And Tuesday in practice, a nasty spill. He was wearing a mask and got jarred on the side of the mask. The doctor took a look at it and said, "You actually reset it for me." Nelson with a 3. Rattles it home.
Bradford made a mistake there. He went behind the screen, gave Nelson a wide open look. And what we see right now against this press, it's nice for Bradford to be able to release because he's such an excellent shooter. Wide open in the corner. Johnson doesn't get it to him.
Yeah, he faked that way and went left.
McClain makes good decisions on the court.
Coach's son always does. Weeks with the rebound.
Johnson again not distributing the ball to the proper people. He had Williams open, Bradford on a rotation. See, Bradford's going behind that screen, Jim. That's going to get him in a lot of trouble.
Nelson trying to hit 2 threes in a row. Griffin whips it to the corner. Bradford thought about it.
Wow, there's an elbow inside.
And Johnson took a pop to the nose himself. It's going to be called against Brent Wright.
Hey, there's some guys throwing some stuff at you inside.
Second on Wright.
Here's an NCAA basketball score update.
Frenetic action here early. The Gators with a 5-point lead. A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS Sports.
Yeah, Mr. Editor. What's going on with the cartoon department? Oh, boy, oh, boy. I'd like to have the Monday paper delivered on Monday, not on Tuesday. Yesterday you said it's going to be 60 degrees. Then when I go out, I'm freezing. Thanks for nothing. Harry. Stan.
Microsoft is working to develop internet software that listens. In the future, everyone will have a say. Go get 'em, Harry.
You want to be out in this? Somebody is.
What happened? I need your help. Off the road.
Chevy Silverado, with the most powerful V8 of any competitive 4x4 pickup. The 300 horsepower Silverado. The truck from Chevy.
I gotta get me one of those.
Until now, there has been a wall between you and the tools of serious trading. That wall is coming down. The information and technology professionals use to trade is now available to everyone. Daytech Online. The rules are changing.
I see a little silhouette of a can. Mountain Dew, time to do the slam dunk go. Citrus tasting, quenching, very, very exciting me. Fantastico, Fantastico, Figaro. Here we go.
Well, pretty even on the rebounds. Miller with 4 points, 5 rebounds in all for the top Gator, who was all SEC this year. Hit the winner against Butler. And Billy, after the Bulldogs suffered that painful loss, you might remember 2 nights ago, they didn't want to leave the arena, just so distraught over that finish. The night session was about to begin. I made my way from the press room, and there were still a couple of Butler players back in the corridor, still sitting back in the media room in disbelief.
Jim, in both of those overtime games, the loser had a better chance to win the game than did the winner, when you really think about it, DePaul and Butler.
Some effort by Butler, the host team at the Final Four this year in Indianapolis. A memorable performance there by Coach Barry Collier's team, but they came up short. Miller beat them at the buzzer.
Bonner in the game now, had a fine ball game the other night. Valuable minutes.
McClain baseline, has Bradford in the corner.
Will Indiana remember that move, huh?
That's the shot that beat Indiana in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten, and Krapalia is whistled for the push-off. Monday on CBS, if your parents lived right across the street, how far would you go to stop them from always hanging out at your place? You won't believe what Ray does to get his parents a social life on an all-new Raymond Monday on CBS. The second on Krapalia, came in, gave him a big boost with 10 rebounds in the opening round win against the Penn Quakers.
Jim, I think both of these teams better be very happy that they've got deep benches, because there is a lot of banging in this game, and there are going to be a number of fouls.
Weeks with the shot.
Harrington does a good job coming back, recognizing no passing lane open for Krapalia.
Sean Harrington handling the ball, gets it into the front court.
Good skip pass.
Krapalia dumps it, and Griffin, no. Krapalia on the follow.
Well, how often do we see Krapalia come up with some big games? Big game against Indiana, 6 points, 7 rebounds, 10 rebounds against Penn State, and then 6 points and 10 rebounds the other day against Penn.
Saw it last year, too, when he was a freshman, helping Illinois make a surprising run through the Big Ten tournament all the way to the final. Bradford with another 3.
Jim, remember the other day we talked about Bradford in the Penn game, taking the little pump fake every time he was going to take a 3, and then looking for his shot. Today he's releasing on the catch, so he's got the good smooth motion.
He has 8 points. He had only 5 in the game against Penn, tying a season low. But he's back on today with the touch. Haslam has it knocked away.
Big
Illinois with the big numbers, yes. Oh, it couldn't handle, but Harrington chases it down.
Again, there's a case where the dribbler went too far. Didn't create a passing angle for his teammates. We saw Williams do it earlier in the game. That time Bradford took it too far. Triple team now on McClain. Somebody's got to be open.
He dribbles out of it. Krapalia ties the game at 16.
He is a smart basketball player.
Sergio
never panics. Competes but doesn't panic. Now you see Bradford fighting over the top of that screen. Again, he fights over and gets hammered.
Bradford all smiles.
Here you see the triple team. Look at what McClain does. He dribbles away from the triple team to create space. That space enables him then to make the good pass. A very intelligent play by Sergio.
McClain will inbound. That foul was on Bonner, an illegal screen. A 7-point run here by the Illini.
I think Bradford kind of smiled because he knew he kind of faked one out on the referee there. Nice move by McClain again, slowing things down. Turn this into a half-court game. I'd say that favors Illinois with Bradford's outside shooting. They need to get Cook started, though, Jim. He hasn't done anything in the NCAA tournament so far.
Here he goes. Cook gives it up. McClain, three-point shot. Wow. Yes, an assist on the last trip, this time a three. First lead for the Illini. Haslam with a two-point basket. That's the lead to one. That breaks a 10-point run by the Illini.
There's Miller on the contact. Cheap one. There's a case also. McClain goes down. They really should have fouled on that play, Haslam, Jim, and not let him have that easy basket. Look at this. Dupay could not knock Sergio down if he caught him half asleep. Complete fake there. Twice we have had that kind of play. Charge away from the ball.
Double team McClain.
Look at him bust through the double team. Is he well schooled or not?
Father Wayne, big-time high school coach, 4 state championships at Peoria Manual High School.
Illinois playing the game much more to their liking now than what they did the first few minutes of this one.
Harrington bangs home a three. Freshman from Bartlett, Illinois, another coach's son. His dad, Jim, the coach at Elgin High School.
We will have some coaches in the audience in the second game as well that are here to see their sons.
Hobson, Heinrich of Kansas, both coaches' sons out of Iowa.
19-20 hour driving trip to come down here to this game.
The foul is on number 34, Brian
Cook called for that one, his first. And you're right, Billy, a tough tournament start for the freshman who was co-freshman of the year in the Big Ten with Michigan's Lavelle Blanchard.
Oh, nice switch.
Nelson gives it up. Dupay's already hit one, and now the second.
He's got unlimited range, and you notice, Jim, he has a slight, he turns his back backwards when he shoots his jumper, so it's very difficult for a bigger man to get to him. It's kind of a fadeaway jumper.
Johnson, beautiful. Cook, that was easy.
Johnson doing a pretty good job distributing the ball. And you notice where he stopped there?
Oh, he's right just inside the free throw line.
Exactly. He created the angle by stopping earlier. Here you have a forward showing guards how to do it. Florida can get shots if Illinois is going to go behind that high screen. They can get jumpers right at the top of the key. McClain fights over it. Another illegal screen.
Going the other way again. Haslam.
Well, there's the difference. McClain came over the top of the screen, took away the jump shot. Haslam used his wide body to pick up the foul.
Trapollo off the bench, 6 points, pair of rebounds, and the Illini leads by 3.
They think that they're still playing and going to shoot the foul instead of going for the timeout.
To put McClain on the line, one of only 2 players on the Illinois squad with NCAA experience before this year. Victor Chukadeve, the other. They played in the '98 tournament.
And one of 3 Mr. Basketballs of Indiana. How many, in the next 15 years, how many Mr. Basketballs of Indiana do you think, of Illinois, do you think are going to go to the Illinois? You figure Lon Kruger probably be pretty good at recruiting them.
He might get a pretty good run going. I like his odds. McClain hits the front end of the 1-and-1.
You got to figure Pat Kennedy's going to do a pretty good job in Chicago, and Lon probably going to get a few Mr. Basketballs himself.
So he's got McClain, former Mr. Basketball, got Frank Williams and Marcus
and Cook.
And Cook, Brian Cook. Yep. So he hits both. And the Illini has its largest lead, 5-point advantage.
Meet Martin Licious, Storm Chaser. Some head for the basement. He heads for a Chevy S10. It's got advantages over Ford Ranger, like better fuel economy, a bigger bed, and standard 4-wheel anti-lock brakes on every model. Because if you want to outrun Mother Nature, you need every advantage you can get. Chevy S10, like a rock.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, hi.
You seem a little slow there.
Well, I was stunned by your beauty. Buy you a Miller Lite, it tastes great.
Sure, but I like it because it's less filling.
Huh? Well, opposites attract. That's a good one. You want to go someplace and talk?
Yeah.
Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Rookie.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Flight 126 has been cancelled. There is another flight, Union Atlantic Air Flight 176, at a gate 54. It has 5 remaining seats.
MySAP.com helps companies and people work together in real time.
Correction, 4 remaining seats.
Hey.
When you're in love, personal space is never an issue. At United Airlines, we realize not everyone's in love. Newly completed Economy Plus, with up to 5 extra inches of space. One more thing we're doing to make it easier to stay united.
Prepare for the unexpected,
You're about to have a baby. No!
the outrageous.
My dog's been shot. Please help him.
All new City of Angels, CBS Wednesday.
Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg in New York. We will keep you updated on what happens with Florida and Illinois, but first let's take you around the country and show you what's happening first in Nashville. You can't ever take the beginning of a game very seriously, Clark, because Tulsa was very much in charge, but those Bearcats have come charging back.
They certainly have. They're in the midst of an 8-0 run after being down 28-12 at one point. They've calmed themselves down. I thought early on, Greg, both of these teams came out with great emotion. And there's a fine line you have to walk between the optimum level of emotion and going across the line. Cincinnati has idled down their emotions a bit here lately, and I think it served them well.
Much to Bob Huggins' relief, they've stopped turning the ball over, too.
Well, you got to squeeze that orange if you want fresh-made orange juice.
And they're going to go the other way. In Birmingham, North Carolina, and Stanford, you know, Clark, you can't take the early going of a game too seriously. Stanford was in charge, and all of a sudden, North Carolina's back even.
They're playing with confidence. Jason Capel, not Jeff, his older brother. Jason Capel has knocked down a couple of threes, and lo and behold, the Tar Heels on top by 1. The three-point shot is a great momentum giver for a team that's trying to come back from behind. North Carolina's done a little better job on the glass. That coupled with the three-point shooting, they have a chance to go into the locker room with the lead.
Timeout there. We'll take you over to Buffalo, where Seton Hall and Temple have come to a screeching halt because the player is down on the floor, but the Temple Owls have taken advantage. There is Shaheen Holloway being helped off the floor. Temple has taken advantage of a few turnovers early on by the Hall.
Greg, you hate to see that. I mean, this kid is so important. I think it's his ankle. And he's just such a catalyst for what they try to do. He's had a fabulous senior year. The way it looks from that picture, you'd be surprised if he was able to come back out. And even if he is, you wonder what kind of effect he could have.
Well, we'll get an update for you as soon as possible. But meanwhile, Temple in charge of Seton Hall. Seton Hall has come out shooting cold.
Well, they struggled early, but again, they have the capability because of Darius Lane and Calcanis to shoot the three-point shot. But more than that, you've got to get shots against Temple. And without Shaheen Holloway creating seams and penetrating against that zone, it'll be tough. Although Ty Shine, his backup, is a capable penetrator. Nice job there on the board.
All right, well, again, we'll bring you up to date on everything at halftimes of our games. Let's get you back to Winston-Salem. Jim Nance and Billy Packer on Florida and Illinois.
Oh, a technical foul? Jim, this is unbelievable what's happened here because Brown was wide open for a shot.
Donovan saying, me? Pointing. What's that?
I didn't see even any activity in the sideline, so it has to be verbal.
We're going to allow Bradford to shoot 2 shots. Technical indeed on Billy Donovan.
And Donovan getting up some attention over there. He's saying, I was talking to my players. And he sent Dupay over to tell the official, hey, I'm talking to my players, not to you. The official's not buying that one.
He wasn't out of the coach's box.
No, and he wasn't, he didn't look like he was aggravated. So there had to be something that verbally was shot out there that.
Well, it cost them only 1 point. They didn't lose. It wasn't a change of possessions.
Yeah. You know, matter of fact, it might have cost Illinois because Brown was wide open for a jump shot in the corner.
Harrington from the corner.
Harvey knows what he can and cannot do on the floor. He doesn't put it on the floor, try to dribble through people. He's a rebounder and a screener and a scorer.
Biggest lead, 7 points each way. Miller. And Bonner inside. Griffin was draped on him.
Nice job by Bonner. One of the things that I'm noticing again is that every time Florida comes over the top with that solid screen and Illinois goes behind, there's a wide open jump shot, and guys like Miller and Weeks and Dupay can hit that shot.
Bonner had good minutes against Butler, and that's going to be Illinois ball.
Wow, Harvey,
the front end of a 1-1.
Harvey came back and hit Johnson right in the head. No call is made.
Johnson's upset about it.
Well, he ought to be. Watch this. Bam! He gets hit right behind the head, and then he takes another one. Second one, a little bit of an act, but that first one hit him right in the back of the neck.
I don't think I'd like that either.
No.
I hate when you do that to me.
Well, Harvey is a powerful fella, and he plays hard. Not dirty, but just hard.
Miller got a fingertip on it, and
a foul.
Yeah, he was trying to almost tackle Brown.
Brown beat him to the spot.
Get a complete look at the starting lineups for all of the remaining tournament teams. For the fastest coverage online, it's March Mayhem at CBS Sportsline or America Online users. The key word is, in fact, CBS Sportsline. Second against Miller.
Jim, it's early in this ball game, but I sense Florida, the youth of this Florida team right now, they've got to settle down some, understand their game, Miller particularly.
1-1.
They're letting the referees, Donovan's still on that same referee over there. But they just need to calm down a little bit, get back to their game.
Bonner shielded Robert Archibald for the rebound. Archibald, number 21, in for the first time for Illinois. Each team now has gone 10 players deep into this game. Harvey. Wild shot inside the paint.
Terrific job by Brown to keep Miller off the boards. Giving up about 3 inches.
Lucas Johnson back over to Harrington. And Archibald, that's going to be off Illinois. No foul ball. Boy,
Harvey, he is a banger inside. SEC newcomer of the year. And was Mr. Basketball in Georgia, but doesn't mind the contact. Loves to go up there and grab rebounds. He's going to sit down for a minute or two.
Dupay is back into the Gator lineup. Yeah, Harvey out of Shellman, Georgia. Sits down for the time being. His team is down 5.
Here comes that screen again. See if Weeks takes it. That's there all day long, Jim. They're going behind the screen. Florida could really take advantage of that.
That's a triple, and it brings it down to 2. Reach in on Dupay. Double bonus. Shoot 2.
No question on the foul right in front of the official. The official was starting to get a little annoyed with the conversation by Florida. They've already had 1 technical foul.
Coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Greg and Clark will get caught up on all the scores and highlights. And live look-ins to other regions, all coming up on Pennzoil at the half. 2 shots for Damir Tripolya, sophomore from Rockford, Illinois, but truly from Sarajevo, Bosnia, where his family fled his homeland in 1992, moved to Czechoslovakia in 95, and then on to the United States.
Remember last year he was going to be redshirted, but they needed him due to some injuries. And once he got in the lineup, there was no longer any need to redshirt him because he was really productive. There's a little hedge move, a little better. Archibald inside on Haslam gets called for the foul.
Archibald's first. He's from Scotland. And yeah, it is physical indeed inside. A whole lot of banging.
But Jim, the difference is that these teams can afford. I mean, you put Archibald in the game, you could say, all right, mix it up in there because you're not going to get into any foul trouble team-wise. You want the cooks to be available at the end of this game.
Haslam can't hit the front end.
Papalia again with another tough rebound. Nobody under.
Brown takes it. Weeks pulls it away.
Those are bad shots. Shots from the side with nobody under to rebound. We have one and done.
Haslam backing in. Comes up short. Tipped up once. Bonner a second time. Gets it to go.
There's the difference. You take a shot. You've got people in position to rebound. Something positive happens.
The senior, Cleotis Brown, holds it up. They may have had the numbers for just a second, but says, let's slow it down here for a moment. 1-point lead. And Papalia takes it to the paint.
Reach in grab by Weeks. Papalia, when he felt the grab, should have thrown the ball at the rim. You had two.
Number 52, Kenyon Weeks.
Weeks committing his first, trying to police that paint. He's from Cabarrus County, North Carolina.
Right down the road.
I'm very familiar with that part of the world.
Yes, you are, Jim. The last time there was a little reach into you.
Yeah, talk about policing the area.
Put those handcuffs on you, took you right to the pokey.
Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, and you know what? They really complimented you on being selected Sportscaster of the Year. Because the next morning they put you right in jail, locked you up, didn't even take your trophy away from you.
That's what I get. That's what you get for speeding.
Boy, you're lucky you got the money for a good lawyer. You'd still be down there.
Thanks.
There's a timeout on the floor. Here's the NCAA.
We'll be right back.
Well, it's nice to see you all. It really, really is. Isn't it, honey?
Oh, yes. We must do this more often.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Thanks for coming.
Where will you find the money to pay for long-term care? Conseco long-term care insurance protects you so you don't lose your nest egg. Conseco, step up.
Newly completed Economy Plus, with up to 5 extra inches of space. One more thing we're doing to make it easier to stay united.
They created their microprocessor in 1971, and the faster their chips have performed, the faster their company has grown. Today, the Intel design is the brains behind the majority of the world's PCs. By the 21st century, their chip could execute 2 billion instructions in 1 second. Where do you learn about such fast-thinking companies? Exactly. NASDAQ, stock market for the digital world.
Select road. Validating tires.
What kind of road can you drive on with BF Goodrich tires? Any road you choose. And now we've been ranked best original equipment tire for light truck vehicles and customer satisfaction by J.D. Power and Associates. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
2 parents lost their children and found the grandchild they shared.
I know where the line is, and you have crossed it. Maybe it's time we move the line.
The Color of Love. CBS tonight.
Let's check into the Microsoft data bank and look at some of the major conferences, how they're faring. It has been just a sensational start for the Big Ten to this point.
Well, Jim, you see they have 5 remaining, but they actually have 3 in. SEC has 1 already advancing, and Big 12, 2 already advancing. So not only are they doing well, they're pretty solid.
Yeah, the Big Ten with Michigan State, Purdue, and Wisconsin already into the Sweet 16. Illinois playing here. Ohio State also playing today. They could have 5 of the 16 spots. Turn his tournament into another Big Ten tournament.
Well, we've seen one of those.
Yeah, just last week. Again away from the ball. They call it on Cook.
Well, Wisconsin, did that surprise you yesterday, Jim?
Well, I thought your point about when you don't get to play against a Wisconsin, a Dick Bennett coach team all the time, you don't know what to expect. You're just not ready for it.
I think it's very difficult. I thought Lute Olson made a great comment in his postgame. He said, my freshmen and sophomores are now going to realize how hard and how tough you have to play. Because Wisconsin doesn't give you anything easy, but for players that have never played against them, they look at it on the tape and they say, hey, that club's not very good. We can take them. But you don't get any easy shots. You don't get transition baskets. They block out. They take good shots. And they're going to keep that game down in the 50s, which most people don't like to play against.
You know, Billy, I said all week there was going to be at least one #1 seed go down opening weekend. We've got 2 in action today. Stanford in a tight one at halftime against Carolina. And Duke will play here against Kansas today.
You know, Jeff, one of the things interesting, the way this game is being refereed, it's important for the players to recognize this. They're doing touch fouls on the ball, but they're letting anything go on down inside.
That's the second on Hamilton. Bradford at the line will shoot 2. A free throw gives Illinois the lead. The Illini led by as many as 7 in this half, but now the Illini has gone almost 4 minutes without a field goal. Florida jumped out in front early, 16-9. Then the Illinois run to take its largest lead. Again, a matching 7-point margin. But a tight one as we expected. 2 young teams with great depth meeting here in the East. 2 for 2 for Bradford, having a good day. The leading scorer for Illinois has 10 points in the first half.
McClain now Nelson showing his versatility defensively. Guards small men, guards wing men, and isn't afraid to go down inside and bang as well. Double team.
Bonner ties it back at 33.
I don't know why they're double teaming a guy like Haslam when he's that far away from the basket. Doesn't really have great moves from there.
Bradford breaks through the press. Victor Chukadebe becomes the 11th player to see action in the first half for Illinois.
And he's not afraid of contact inside either.
Double zero. Senior. Bradford again. He's hit 2 threes, but not this time. Dupay driving on Harrington.
Little overdrive move.
Nelson blocked by Chukadebe.
Hey, this is a deep squad, isn't it? Both teams.
Well, they both are.
Yeah, they really are. In contrast to what we'll see Duke in the second game today. Plays primarily a 6-man squad, sometimes goes to 7.
But Kansas has tremendous depth, too. Snaps it, corner, Lucas Johnson. 10 on the shot clock. Harrington, look at this passing. Johnson, 3.
Yes, Johnson making some funny decisions there. They still had plenty of time on the clock to get it to Bradford. Bonner wanted that ball down inside.
Weeks takes it, gets it. Florida's back in front.
Weeks, an excellent scorer. He's a great pure shooter. Holds the record in Florida. 3 straight fouls. Throws the ball away. That's yours, Jeff. Good catch.
You want to actually give it back to him?
Yeah. Two-handed grab, nice fundamentals.
Did I foul you going for the ball there?
No, I was too far away to shoot. I only catch when I can shoot. The game is being refereed in 2 different ways. Inside, they're allowing guys to kill each other. Outside, touch foul.
Nelson delivers his second 3 of the game.
Second basket Florida has scored in the last 3 times down because Illinois is doubling down on the postman Haslam, leaving somebody wide open.
2-on-1, McClain to the paint, and he's fouled. You know, I was trying to box you out on that one, Billy. Here it comes.
Here it comes. Great hands by my partner.
Look at Pat McGrath.
That's how those
Pat McGrath try to jump in there.
That's how those wrists were when that police officer down in Cabarrus County said, "Put him out straight."
You're not going to let that go, are you? Oh man. I hope you have to drive through Cabarrus County on the way home tonight.
About once or twice a week.
We're looking for you. I promise you that.
Did he ask you to extend those hands straight out like that, or did you put them behind your back?
You've handcuffed me with my commentary with those remarks. And now McClain to shoot one more.
You know, McClain probably, if it had not been Chukadebe, would have thrown the lob up there. For a guy like Griffin, he would have, but I think he was worried about Chukadebe's hands. See how they're calling every touch foul out front. No fouls down inside. The players have to adjust to that.
The foul on number 40, Sergio McClain, first.
In this tournament, well, the West Coast Conference.
They have one loss now, right?
Pepperdine goes down, but the Big Ten 8-1. Big Ten here, though, down 4. Final minute of the first half. Nelson out of West Virginia. He goes back to the 7th grade, attending Billy Donovan summer camps when Billy the Kid was the coach at Marshall. In fact, the youngest Division I coach at the time when he was named head coach after serving 5 years on the Pitino staff at Kentucky.
Looking for one. They're going to have to shoot the ball up. They've got about 6 seconds differential here. Florida drops back. Look like they're setting up a little zone here. Timeout. And there you see McClain. He's just not happy with what the setup was.
Over 6 minutes without a field goal made by the Illini, down 6.
Our need to communicate, to learn, to be in touch has spawned products of genius. Today, Microsoft continues this progression, creating tools that empower, tools that multiply our possibilities, taking us to places we've never been, where discovery and achievement transcend anything we have known. Where do you find companies fostering growth on so many levels? Exactly. NASDAQ, stock market for the digital world.
Get ready for the shave of your life. Mach 3 from Gillette. It's so fast, so effortless. 3 blades shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3. So you don't shave over and over. The result? Far less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Once you go to Mach 3, you'll never go back. Mach 3 from Gillette.
I expect a lot of my family. I expect Joe to get heartburn, Tony to get nausea, and Sarah indigestion at the mere sight of food. Instead, Joe would get indigestion, Tony diarrhea, and I'd end up with heartburn. I just keep first aid handy at all times.
Pepto-Bismol relieves more stomach problems than any of these other leading medicines.
I expect the unexpected.
Pepto-Bismol, first aid for heartburn, diarrhea, nausea, indigestion, and upset stomachs.
How do you want to fly? That's the question Delta's been asking. Because different people want different things. Every passenger has a request. What would yours be?
Wednesday on CBS, see why Stephen Bochco's City of Angels is a new breed of medical drama. Blair Underwood stars in an all-new City of Angels, Wednesday on CBS.
Jim, this has been a very interesting game in regard to style of play. We see the Chief very concerned right here.
Should be. How about the West? The West. Billy, some said all along that would be the bracket that would just blow up, and it did. You got a 4, 6, 8, and 10 seed in the Sweet 16. All the top 3 seeds went down yesterday.
But Jim, what I felt once it got to 32 teams, that everybody could win their next game. Here we see Johnson with the ball. He's
one on the shot clock. Chukadebe on the follow.
Oh, no,
tell you what, that shot was clearly released in time to beat the shot clock. Well, Chukwuedebe's follow-up, even though it didn't drop, should have been a legal play.
The referee made a mistake right there. He thought it was the ball hit the rim, so consequently Illinois gets it back and has a chance to put up this shot.
You can see
the referee was thinking shot clock violation, but see, the ball hit the rim. So it would have and should have counted. Now, are they going to put some more time back on the clock because the referee inadvertently blew his whistle? And it would be Illinois' ball. See what they're going to do. Referee just was thinking the clock for the shot.
They're going to take a look at this. They're going to replay this. But you can see the shot is released with 2 seconds on the shot clock, and the ball touches the rim.
But see, Jim, an inadvertent whistle here by the referee because he was thinking shot clock, not game clock. So right now it should be Illinois' ball with 6 seconds to go on the clock. Because that whistle sounded when the horn went off for a shot clock violation, but it was not a shot clock violation because it hit the rim. You can see where the 0 is on one side is the shot clock. The 6.7 seconds or so, whatever it is, that was the remaining time on the clock.
It's really an unfair break for Florida, too, because their players just stood still when they heard the whistle and the shot clock violation. You could see them standing there flat-footed.
But they're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to continue to play as a player. You'll see it right here. Now watch, it goes up. When it hits the rim, the shot clock doesn't make any difference. And there's where the whistle, you can hear the whistle sounding. So it really should be, Illinois' ball with 6 seconds to go on the clock. The referee admitted as soon as he blew the whistle and saw what happened, he said, it's my mistake. So now they take a look at it.
Let's listen again and see if the whistle went off before the Chukwuedebe follow.
Almost instantaneously. This is going to be a tough call.
Well, the thing again, Chukwuedebe, was his shot impacted by the whistle, or was it before the whistle?
I don't think he was impacted by the whistle. I think that the Florida Gators were impacted by the whistle.
They heard the whistle, so they did not attempt the rebound.
I think the fair thing here is to give the ball to Illinois with 6 seconds to go on the clock. But that was a bang-banger if there ever was one. Official just made a mistake blowing that whistle. And one coach is going to be satisfied and one not. And they may say that Chukwuedebe was not affected by it, and therefore it would be Florida's ball on the rebound. But I really think that Chukwuedebe did not have the release.
One thing about the officials, when they were looking at the replay, they did not have access to the audio of the portion of the replay.
Great point, Jim. Great point. Because the audio would have been able to tell them when the sound of the whistle actually happened, as opposed to the sound of the 35-second shot clock.
Timeout, Florida. I think after hearing it, had they heard it, Florida's case would have been far stronger.
I agree.
I think Florida's hurt by the fact the officials did not have a chance to hear the replay. We'll be right back.
This is my invention. The silverware instrument. C'est les lunettes éclaireuses. You could slide them, but they don't slide by themselves. It worked. It worked. Headlight. It could change somebody's life. 24-hour sandals. That is the greatest idea I've ever came up in my whole life.
Jim Nance and Billy Packer, we return to Winston-Salem. It will be Illinois basketball. Let me just clarify one thing. They do have, if they so desire, access to headphones. They could have listened to the natural audio on that replay, but chose not to.
So Illinois will get the ball. That's 6 seconds to go.
Last shot of the half coming up. Harrington for Illinois. 3, front of the rim, and Florida closes out the half on a run. They shut down the Illini the last 6 minutes, 50 seconds of the first half without a field goal. A 19-6 spurt to the locker room for the Gators. Let's go over to Bonnie Bernstein.
All right, Jim, thanks. Billy, a very physical first half, but you kept them without a field goal for the last 7 minutes of the half. How do you keep it up?
Well, I thought that we played good defense down the end. We had some breakdowns. Obviously, the game is very physical. That's what we anticipated. But we've got to continue to do a good job because certainly they've got great personnel.
Billy, thanks.
Thank you.
That's the end of the first half with the score. Florida 40, Illinois 34. CBS Sports exclusive coverage continues after this message and a word from your local station.
Introducing the Isuzu 10-year, 120,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want to drive your SUV around town all day? You're covered. You want to take it to the most treacherous backcountry you can find? Be our guest. You want to drive it off a cliff? Well, that's where the limited and limited warranty comes in. America's longest warranty. It covers most everything you do. Except, of course, the cliff thing.
Got father-in-law problems?
Arthur, your toast is done.
Don't tell me. So does he.
Why don't you take him somewhere? Like out to the woods?
The King of Queens, CBS Monday.
Fail-Safe, a live television event. CBS Sunday, April 9th.
How's that? Yeah, it was, maybe we should get one for safety. Too fast. Too moist. Too barley-ish? Too bubbly? A little hostile.
Too filibus.
The cold filtered cool of Miller Genuine Draft.
How's that?
Maybe we should try some MGD Light.
Never miss a genuine opportunity.
We measure success one investor at a time.
Row harder, swabbies. Siberia's still half an ocean away.
At the pace you're drumming, we'll never get there.
Oh, we'll sink.
Oh, can't you row without me drumming?
You'd be keeping the beat if you drank a Red Bull.
Red Bull?
Yeah, the energy drink. It revitalizes body and mind. You're all pumped up.
So's me brain. Forget Siberia. Let's do Bermuda.
What a genius.
Or even better, let's do Hawaii. It's boy for everybody.
Red Bull gives you wings. I need some suntan lotion.
Introducing the Lexus ES Platinum Series with a host of unique features,
Beverage, sir?
including a 2-year complimentary American Express Platinum card for benefits like free companion tickets on selected international flights. Now, more than ever,
Prepare for departure.
nothing treats you quite like a Lexus.
Bye-bye.
Save $2,100 at your Lexus dealer.
Bye-bye.
Halftime at 2 sites, action at 2 other sites. The ultimate tournament update coming right up.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half. Sponsored by Pennzoil. Specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Hi, everyone. Welcome once again to Pennzoil at the Half. I'm Greg Gumbel, along with Clark Kellogg. We are at halftime of a couple of games. First of all, in Winston-Salem, Florida with a 40-34 lead on Illinois. You heard Billy Donovan say that they played pretty good defense. The question is, can you keep up that kind of defense against Illinois?
Well, these two teams are so evenly matched, Greg. They're very, very similar. They're deep, they're athletic, they shoot the three, they play defense. It's going to come down to which team can control those areas that dictate games. Rebounding, turnovers, and obviously that three-point shot is a major weapon on both sides of the ball.
It's also halftime in Buffalo, where Seton Hall owns a 2-point lead on Temple at 31-29. The injury to point guard Shaheen Holloway has had the opposite effect, as we so often see it sometimes.
It certainly has had that effect. Shine is a guy who can shoot the three-point shot. He's come off the bench and made a bunch of threes. I think he's made 3, and the three-point shot is the reason that Seton Hall is on top in this game, and that's the one thing that can negate dominance by the opposition in all other areas is that three-point shot.
The latest report on Shaheen Holloway is that he has been taken to the hospital for x-rays on the ankle that he injured late in the first half. We'll keep you updated. Meanwhile, in the South region, Birmingham, Alabama, North Carolina had a 1-point lead on Stanford at halftime. It's now 2, 13:50 to play in the second half. Let's send you out there live and join Dick Enberg and James Worthy.
Tenacious fight here in the South region in Birmingham, and underdog North Carolina with Ed Cota at the line
has taken a 3-point lead, 39-36. Stanford led by as many as 8 late in the first half. A 14-0 run, 8 straight points at the end of the first half, 6 in a row to start the second half. Vaulted Carolina in front, but Stanford rallying from 7 down themselves to tie at 36, and now Coda has given North Carolina with that free throw a 39-36 lead.
And in the first half, Coda was unable to penetrate inside. They started to let Forte handle the basketball a little bit more, and that's loosened up Coda somewhat. He's been able to come off some of the curls and some of the picks of Chris Lang and Brendan Haywood.
6 points now for Coda. Tony Giovacchini, left-hander, now at point guard along with Ryan Mendez. This Mendez with the ball usually comes in, scores quickly, mostly trying to get inside against Forte. Jaron Collins, one of the big twins for Stanford, and Haywood up high to swat it away. Mendez for 3, and he hits again. My, oh my, can he shoot from outside.
And he has been a mini microwave here this afternoon. 10 points off the bench, and as soon as he comes in, he's effective. Big game player. When Stanford needs some offense, they go to Mendez.
Julius Peppers outside, the 6'7" defensive end star freshman football player at Carolina. Haywood back to Lang. Lang is bumped into by Collins. No whistle. And back comes Giovacchini for Stanford, and the Cardinal with a chance to get back on top.
I tell you, the beef is sizzling in the paint.
Peppers, quick hands. That's like a sack for Peppers, and he holds his man down as Coda comes the other way, and he is fouled. Fans wanted a flagrant foul. It is not. It's the first on David Mosley.
Well, Peppers, if you take a look on your right side of your screen, you're going to see Peppers doing a little bit of football there. Look at the dive, little body block, roll over, and Coda comes over and get it.
You're not going anywhere, he says to Giovacchini.
So North Carolina continues to lead. Stanford will keep track of that game. Meanwhile, at the South region in Nashville, Tulsa led Cincinnati at halftime 31-24. It is now a 34-32 lead. We'll take you there live in a moment after we take a timeout here on Pennzoil at the half. We'll come right back.
We are go for launch.
Thrusters engaged.
Want to be an astronaut? Enter the Pennzoil Synthetic Mission to Mars sweepstakes. Buy 6 quarts of Pennzoil Synthetic with Penzane, then mail in for tickets to see Touchstone Pictures' Mission to Mars. And you're automatically entered to win a grand prize trip to outer space.
Appears to be a geological anomaly. Ho!
Honey, I need to get in there.
Access denied.
Enter the Mission to Mars sweepstakes from Pennzoil Synthetic. It's rocket science for your car.
Capture this year's championship excitement for years to come by reserving your copy of the official 2000 NCAA Final Four program. The official program includes detailed information on your favorite teams, players, and coaches, available for only $14. You can relive this year's excitement forever without ever leaving your living room. Visit us at www.final4.net or call 1-800-313-4678. Price includes shipping and handling. Get into the action today for its history.
I am a college fanatic, basketball. I love it. I think I do my best work when I'm a little bit on edge and have a little bit of nervousness in me. I have a sharpness to my game.
Right there, on the floor, on the floor!
Each one of my crew member has to know he has to do his third. We're a 3-man crew.
That's a good call there, partner.
The teams make the good game. When they're playing good, you look pretty good.
Last year, he stormed the golf world. Now, Sergio Garcia, El Nino, roars into Augusta National. A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS Sports.
Welcome back, everyone. They're almost halfway through the second half in Birmingham, and North Carolina owns a 2-point lead on Stanford, 43-41. In Nashville, Tulsa with a 34-32 lead on the Bearcats of Cincinnati. 15:55 to play in the second half. Let's take you live to the Gaylord Entertainment Center in Nashville and join Tim Brando and Rolando Blackman.
He's 6'5", but
Tulsa's lead down to 2. They led by 16 in the opening half of this game. Coley and Michael, the leaders of their respective teams, taking charge in this game. Brandon Kurtz can't hit. Pete Michael right on cue. Hauls down another rebound, his 7th. Ryan Fletcher, who got 2 early fouls, has really never gotten into the flow of this game. Loses it out of bounds, and it belongs to Tulsa.
But it's an advantage also now to Cincinnati because they do have him in the game, an opportunity to go down low and utilize his talent. But they've done a good job by setting the pace now defensively and getting themselves emotionally into this game.
Marcus Hill playing with 3. Tony Hurd with the dump down to Dennis Shelton. Shelton stays with it. Wave it off the foul prior to the putback against Michael. Hurd and Shelton very active as you look at our bracket here in Nashville. The winner of this game will move on to take on the winner of our second game this afternoon between Miami and Ohio State. And it's interesting, both Tulsa and Miami, 2 teams that if they're to make that next step to get to a Sweet 16, they'll have to do it with defense.
Tim Brando will keep you updated on Tulsa, Cincinnati. Earlier today in Buffalo, Oklahoma State advanced with a victory over Pepperdine. 75-67 was the final score there. Coming up later on today here on CBS. Out of the South, Miami, Ohio State, UConn, Tennessee. Out of the East, Kansas will take on the top seed in the East, the Duke Blue Devils. Thanks for joining us here on Pennzoil at the half. Second halves of games in Buffalo and Winston-Salem right after this.
Pennzoil at the half has been sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Baby, Dr. Brad, I bet you like it. Tell me where you want to be.
Somewhere between where you are.
How's babysitting, guys? We had a great time.
And where you're going. The new Volvo S40.
Maybe we should start with a dog.
Every bit of Volvo for about $23,000.
For Grapevine, the address is CBS Monday.
Now get 0.9% financing for up to 60 months on Dodge Caravan, the most innovative, most imitated, most trusted minivan on the road. 0.9 could save you over $4,600. High interest, low interest. Interested? Better hurry. Dodge Caravan. Different.
Feast your eyes on gorditas from Taco Bell. Ooh, warm, pillowy flatbread loaded with seasoned beef and all your favorite stuff. Choose from Baja, Santa Fe, or Supreme. Ay, ay, ay. And right now, they're just 49 cents each when you buy any drink. So you can afford to share some with a friend.
Hello, friend.
Gorditas, now just 49 cents with any drink. Grande taste, local value, only at Taco Bell.
Here's your regular internet homepage. And here's i1.com. You use it like Yahoo, Lycos, or other search engines. Only i1.com gives away $10,000 every day, $1 million a month, and $10 million on tax day. Which one would you choose?
Oh, I see. Someone's supposed to struggle with this, right? So let's bring out the blonde.
Just doing research.
I'll pick the one with all of the cash.
i1.com.
Yeah.
Introducing i1.com. Why wouldn't you?
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by American Express, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Nortel Networks, and by Miller Lite.
Florida leads Illinois by 6, a 19-6 stretch before halftime for the Gators.
Nortel Networks presents the Virtual Playbook.
Here we're going to see what I was talking about in the first half, Jim, and this is when Illinois does not fight over the top of that high screen. Florida's been able to take advantage of it, and here we'll see Nelson hitting the jump shot from the outside. Bradford goes in behind his own man, leaving a wide open shot. Now we'll take a look at what happens. Bradford will go behind. Nelson will come right here and have the wide open shot and in. Florida's been able to do this on 3 or 4 occasions. You see where Bradford is? Leaves a wide open shot. They've got to fight over the top of that screen.
Let's go over to Bonnie Bernstein.
All right, Jim. Coach, this kind of feels like a Big Ten game, as physical as it's been. What offensive adjustments do you make to put more points on the board?
Well, we've got to take just a little bit better care of the basketball. Had some pretty good looks, maybe rushed them a little bit. So we've got to just get a little more composure and knock down some shots.
All right, Coach, thanks. Good luck. Jim?
Illinois, Billy, was shut down to 31% from the field.
Jim, what I think happened in that half, Illinois starts off the basketball game playing Florida's game. Then all of a sudden they get in the middle of that half, they get to their game playing half court at a time. Then all of a sudden it was fool's gold for them. They reverted back to playing a full court game, and that's where Florida is at its best. You take a look at the stats, and field goal shooting percentage is something that comes to haunt you when you're taking bad shots, and that's what's happening to Illinois right now. When they try to play that full court game, it really hurts them, and they're only averaging 31% from the field. A lot of that is taking bad shots.
Sergio McLean had a couple of physical moments. Little Teddy Dupay the third knocked him
just knocked him down. But here you're going to see Sergio fighting through that screen that I talked about before, and because he is so strong and sits down so well on the floor, Haslam has no chance to do anything other than pick up a foul.
McLean with 6 points in the half, 3 rebounds. By the way, Billy Donovan hit with a technical with 5:54 to go in the half. But Florida responding after that tee with a 16-5 advantage the remainder of the half.
Well, I don't know if they picked up anything from that, but I know one thing. Billy was in the ear of that official good portion of that time.
Gators with the first possession, second half. Winner advances to Syracuse and the East Regionals.
And if you're Illinois, another thing you've got to do is you've got to get Brian Cook in the game offensively, Jim. He did not score a point the other night, and he doesn't have one yet here.
Miller kept this possession alive. He tipped it out to Dupay. Only one loss this season when leading at halftime, the Gators. 21-1. Dupay back out with it. Haslam, spin move and off. Really good move. He's too strong for Cook inside.
Cook is really designed to be maybe a power forward. When he gets down in low in the blocks against somebody as strong as Haslam, he's got no chance, and Griffin's going to come in for him. Cook is starting to get discouraged with this little bit of playing time, has not been able to score, and now he's replaced by Griffin. And he's going to be talked to right now by Lon Kruger, young man whose dad was a great star at University of Kansas, Norm Cook.
So that's the third on Cook. Haslam unable to finish the three-point play. That's the largest lead we've had in the game for either side. Illinois at one time had a 7-point lead of its own. It's now gone the other way. Gators by 8.
Now, Griffin has got Haslam fronting him. They're going to be able to get the lob if Lucas will get out of the way. Nice pump fake by Williams.
Williams in the lane. Jammed home by Griffin.
And what created that is Haslam is fronting Griffin, so therefore Griffin has got good rebounding position.
Dupay, 3 on all the way. We had the angle here.
Sure did. You cannot let him get started on that jumper with a clean look.
So the Gators exchange a 3 for the 2 at the other end. But right back, Griffin, nifty move, but unable to finish it. McLean doubled up, got the ball squeezed out of there, and will head to the line for 2. This Illinois jam was the first field goal in 7 minutes, 58 seconds.
But you see what happened right here. Because Haslam was fronting Griffin, he has no opportunity to get inside for rebounding position. Griffin going up there. Young man had a knee operation mid-season, came back much quicker than anticipated, and now his old high school teammate goes to the line.
Second call against Haslam. 2 shots for McLean. Talk about his father, Wayne, in the first half, head coach at Peoria Manual. Sergio played on 4 state championship teams. Not only played, he started in all 4. And if it played in Peoria, will it play in the NCAA tournament for this Fighting Illini bunch? Young, talented, many feel capable of beating anybody in the bracket.
Bradford now stays right with Dupay coming down the floor. Doesn't want to get into another open look three. And I think this is wise by Illinois to drop back and just try to play half court. Don't try to get this team in a running game. Miller with a bunch of good screens.
Haslam stripped away by McLean. He does it all. Now driving on Miller. Comes up short on the layup. Last touch by the Gators.
I'm surprised that McLean tried to take that all the way. He really had some quicker guys down there on his dribbling hand. Tried to take it all the way.
Seton Hall, Shaheen Holloway, injured an ankle in that game against Temple, was taken to the hospital. X-rays negative, but he has returned to the arena and may possibly see action. Tight one with Temple. Stanford's come back to take the lead on Carolina. All loose. Miller has it.
Good hustle.
Cincinnati has fought all the way back from a double-digit deficit. Dupay again, back of the rim. Miller, great offensive rebounder. No whistle. Griffin jammed him. He stuffed him.
He really did. Miller never could get his feet set.
And Williams hits the floater off the glass.
Miller had excellent position, Jim, but his feet were crossed a little bit, and he just couldn't get the good shooting angle.
Miller, same shot he beat Butler with, coming in from the wing.
Well, he's about 6'9", and when he goes into that paint area, he can just elevate over the type of defenders that play against him.
Away from the ball, Lucas Johnson called for the foul, running over Ted Dupay.
Well, it's all fair if the referees are going to be consistent. That's the third foul today that have been called off the ball in a charged situation. Now watch this. He passes. Dupay waits on him. That's the third time today. We saw McLean, remember earlier, knocked Dupay down. Dupay said, well, you know, I can do that same act. I think that is a no call. No advantage was gained.
Didn't quite look like as much contact as the Dupay-McLean run in earlier.
Not a good shot.
Wright missing a three. Would have given the Gators a double-digit lead of 11.
But that last call, Jim, I think officials should just, you know, wave that one off. Let's play the game. Nobody gained an advantage. There again, you see, trying to front Griffin. He gets fouled. No call there either.
Haslam stood his ground. McLean stands in, steals it. Hamilton had no place to go. Outside, Dupay. Whistle.
No shot. Illinois get the ball out of bounds. But, you know, one of the things about McLean that I've been watching, I'm wondering how he gets by with some of the things that he does. Watch how quick his hands get control of the basketball. Ed Cotto, who we have seen play often this year from the University of North Carolina, another one of those guys that on a loose ball, they have such quick hands, they get immediate control of the ball. That's one of the reasons he might not be the quickest guy, but he has that hand-eye coordination that makes that available.
Bradford was really ready to knock down that three, but didn't finish. Brett Nelson has come back in for Florida, number 10. Miller is hacked by McLean.
McLean better be careful here.
He's going to run off the frustration.
I don't know why he was challenging Miller that far away from the game. You turn the game into a frenetic pace that plays in Florida's hands. They're very good at it. Billy Donovan teaches that. Rick Pitino taught it at Kentucky. They just feel comfortable when the game is just flying up and down the floor. Leading scoring team in the SEC. They like it that way.
Dupay comes off a screen. He feels McLean's presence. Gives it up to Nelson for a three. And the Gators have the largest lead of the game, 11.
Williams and Corey Bradford have taken their eyes off their man.
Griffin slams it. Williams found him hanging out the baseline. Quick two for the Illini.
With all of these good three-point shooters and you've got a man your guard, you cannot turn your head and get away from him. There with Dupay, the same thing happened. See, Bradford gave up on Dupay, gave him all the opening he needed.
Rattles home his second three-point basket of the half. 12 for Dupay. Bradford over to McLean, cross court. Back to Bradford. He knows he's got a big man on him, Miller, so he gives it up. Nelson steps in for the steal.
And Florida has the numbers.
Miller, he'll challenge Johnson. Ball it up, Haslam short. At the tip, just not strong enough of a tip.
I think if Florida had scored there, we'd have seen a timeout by Illinois.
That's like a 4-point exchange right there.
Oh, another steal by Bradford.
Oh, look at a 6-point exchange. McLean and Bradford.
Could have got another one right there as well. Ooh. Wright was very lazy on that inbounds pass.
Haslam. Yes. Is this frenetic enough for you?
Yeah, well, you cannot play Florida this kind of game and expect to win. You got to settle it down.
Frank Williams.
You may get some baskets and think you're doing fine, but this is their game.
McLean took the quick 3.
Yep. Bradford looks like he is really winded right now. Maybe that nose giving him some trouble.
McLean on the reach in. Gators have seduced the Illini into a high-speed game.
Yep, they sure have. And you get a couple of baskets like this, you start getting confidence, say we can run with them, but that's exactly where you make a mistake. It's kind of like a boxing match where you see a guy who's a boxer and he gets in with a slugger and he slugs for the first round and says, hey, I can slug with this guy, and sooner or later he's on his back. That's what we have happening right here.
Haslam will shoot 2. 6'7" sophomore from Miami, the last center to make an NCAA Final Four run for the Gators was Dimitri Hill with the meat hook.
The meat hook,
yeah. The meat hook for Coach Ron Kruger back in 1994.
Haslam, not a great free throw shooter, down at 61%. Almost cost him the other night. Nice release there.
There's a timeout. Lead at halftime was 6. It's been now doubled to 12 in the second half.
Una chela?
Chela? Yeah, I'll never understand Mexican women.
Why? We're just like Puerto Rican women.
Well, when I want a Miller Lite, I just say vieja, and you say...
Una chela, por favor.
And I drink mine straight from the bottle. You?
I like mine in a tall, slender glass.
Well, I drink Miller Lite because it tastes great.
And I because it has a smooth, dare I say, sexy finish.
I'm beginning to understand.
Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Una chela, por favor.
This is a celebration of performance, athletic performance, and Pontiac performance. As an official sponsor of the 2000 U.S. Olympic team, Pontiac is celebrating with the Pontiac Performance event, where you can get great lease payments, low financing, or cash back on a 2000 Grand Prix. You'll also get a chance to win a trip to see the 2000 U.S. Olympic team compete in Sydney. Just log on to Pontiac.com or call to enter, and you could be there. Hey, your opportunity to experience exciting performance is here.
Mark, why is Grandma eating off the ironing board?
Why not?
This is a kitchen table, not a desk.
It's both now, and Dad's got a schedule for that.
Dinner's at 11.
Ish.
Marky, go work in your room.
There's no desk up there, and I can't stay awake. I just get in bed, it's like, out.
Would you like a room with a nice big workspace?
Great.
What's this look like? A Holiday Inn?
Hey, Grandma.
Want a room with room to work? Holiday Inn gives you more, and more is better.
Faster, more reliable, higher quality, more profitable. Nortel Networks is building the new high-performance internet, and it can be whatever you want it to be. So tell us, what do you want the internet to be?
Come together right now over me.
Was he, as one prominent Catholic called him, Hitler's Pope? More pro-Nazi than the present Pope is willing to concede? 60 Minutes tonight.
The UCLA performance against Maryland, Billy, last night, perhaps the strongest single performance by one team in the tournament.
The best team on CBS this year, UCLA wins at North Carolina, takes Syracuse to the wire at Syracuse, beats Stanford at Stanford.
They're ranked number 1.
And probably has played the most dominating game in the NCAA tournament so far.
The Illinois Fighting Illini had a 7-point lead in this game at 28-21. But the Gators have taken over.
They've taken over by playing their game, and Illinois has fallen right into that trap.
Charge. Bradford, yes, indeed. Take the basket away.
Everything has been consistent by these officials. They're calling the charge. Jim, a little connection between Illinois and UCLA. Who succeeded John Wooden? Gene Bartow. You know where he was the head coach before that? University of Illinois. He went from Memphis to Illinois one year, and then to UCLA, right?
He took Memphis to the Final Four in 1973, Gene Bartow.
J.D. Morgan.
Oh, that was down for a split second.
Yep. J.D. Morgan was impressed the way Gene Bartow handled himself against UCLA when he was at Memphis, but he went from Memphis to Illinois, 1 year at Illinois, and then to UCLA. There's the doubling down by Bonner.
Griffin doubled up. Krapalya thought about stepping in. He's cut off. Brown, nice senior, hits the three.
Good decision by Krapalya. He's not the man you want at this point in the game taking a three-point shot, even though he was open.
Nelson, floater, tough shot. Oh, Harvey is there.
No block out from the weak side. Nelson took a bad shot. This is dangerous. Krapalya with the dribble out here.
Baseline to Griffin and one.
It worked.
With the assist.
It worked because nobody came and picked him up.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, who are the new masters of the net? The internet we're talking about. Plus, why is the mayor of one of the world's hottest vacation spots giving visitors the cold shoulder? The answers tonight on 60 Minutes. Marcus Griffin to the line to try to complete a three-point play. We've talked so much about Sergio McLean, his old high school mate. They made a pact as sophomores at Manual High School in Peoria that one day they would go to college together. It took a little time. Griffin had to go the junior college route at first, but here they are in the NCAA tournament, second round.
And I can envision in the future, certainly not the future of this game, but where Griffin and Cook will work together in the front line for Illinois, and that will be extremely effective. Cook on that bench without a point in the NCAA tournament, came in with two outstanding games in the Big Ten tournament. They needed his scoring today. They needed to play a half-court game, and so far they haven't.
Harvey jammed outside Nelson. Cook was all Big Tournament team last week. Big Ten co-freshman of the year. Bonner, three-pointer. Freshman for Florida. No, they call it a two now. That's a two.
You talk about some solid minutes by that young man coming in. Played an excellent game the other night. Good double team. They stayed right with it. Krapalya again. If you let him handle the ball, sooner or later it gets you in trouble.
Parker in a reach-in on Williams.
You see, Jim, the wrong man handling the basketball right there. Krapalya got away with it last time down floor. No guards came back, particularly Bradford, to take the ball away from him.
10-point lead here. There are tight ones elsewhere. Seton Hall and Temple tangling, and Seton Hall, 10 seed, has led in the second half. How about North Carolina trying to take out the second #1 seed of this tournament? Arizona ousted yesterday. They're down in the closing seconds of that one.
Well, the two #1 seeds that would go out, both from the Pac-10. And there you have UCLA a month ago struggling to even get in the NCAA tournament. Maybe the strongest representative of their league.
Cincinnati has fought back after being down, I believe, as many as 15 in the first half against Tulsa to take the lead on them.
Bradford is going so far away from the ball, looking to be the release man to get his three-point shot off, but he's not getting in the action at all.
Williams hits the jumper. He has 4 all in this half. He was 0 for 4 from the field in the first 20-minute session.
Boy, and how about the way Billy Donovan is using his bench? Look at the team he has out on the floor there. Not one guy on the floor now started this basketball game. He doesn't mind using, going 11 deep in the first half. So everybody's going to be rested for the stretch drive right here. How long is Lon Kruger going to go before he gets Cook back in there?
We'll bring in the three-point sharpshooter, Sean Harrington,
who had the wide open look right at the end of the half that would have given a little momentum to his team. Just came up short.
Well, Williams has to go to the bench. He has 4. He was the star Friday in the win against Penn with his career-high 21.
1-1.
1-1 for Nelson.
1-1.
Freshman from St. Albans, West Virginia. Get a second one. Florida team so deep that 10 players average at least 10 minutes a game.
30
33 points in this one from the Gators bench. They lead by 11.
So I pull into this gas station.
Oh, classic over squeeze. Watch this. Release the hounds. Perfect pump. 2037.
Even at the gas station, you can do more with the American Express card.
To all the new e-businesses just getting started, why not talk to the company that's pioneered the business-to-business revolution on the web? One whose own infrastructure supports $40 million per day in e-commerce alone. One who can help you achieve the same success with your e as we have with ours. Dell knows how e works. Visit Dell.com.
Dell Business servers use Intel Pentium 3 Xeon processors.
So what I'm saying is that it's a conspiracy. When you have
Been saying that for years.
Government or some shadow group.
Come on, sweetheart, let's move it.
But they know what's going on out there. Okay, caller.
Thanks. Network.
Sightings in 2 weeks. And that
That's what I'm talking about, buddy. Well, what have we here? Hello, darling. Want a piece of this? You want to go? All right, let's go, Chief.
For years, mid-size imports have ruled the road.
Takes all kinds.
Make room for something different.
Can't believe this. Are you crazy, man?
The V6L Series Performance Sedan from Saturn.
What do you want from me? Okay, that's it.
Who are you?
What's up with that guy?
Beats me. The mid-size world may never be the same.
Jim Nance, Billy Packer, Bonnie Bernstein here in Winston-Salem. Going to the break, Billy, we're talking about bench production. More than half the Florida points come from the bench, 33 points. In the win against Butler, the bench for the Gators 35, the starters 34.
Well, I would point out a little bit of a misnomer. I mean, it was great production, but who is the starting lineup for Florida? When you look at the minutes played,
interchangeable.
Exactly.
Weeks is like a starter with his minutes.
And one of the things that really helps when you've got that deep bench are your practices, because these guys go head-to-head against each other for playing time. As an example, Hamilton is a starter, but, you know, he's not going to score that much. Moved in the starting lineup 2 games in the SEC tournament. There's a hold by Parker on Bradford away from the ball. And I'll tell you, they're not allowing anything to take place away from the ball.
That was the 4th team foul, number 1 on Parker.
If Illinois is going to make a move, they have got to make a move by slowing this game down, going inside with their power and getting on the boards. And they're playing basically against the 2nd unit right now. And again, that's a misnomer because not all these guys are starters in a way. But they've got to go ahead and get something going half court.
Talia
always seems to be open. He causes them trouble when he tries to handle the ball.
Nelson spins away, gets it back. Long range, triple, yes.
Again, Jim, what's happening right now is that the wrong men have the ball to try to make plays for Illinois.
Bamford's pass.
10 seconds here.
Got 3 seconds to get it across. 2, 1, just in time, but last touched by the Gators. What is this? It's back at us again. We're getting more passes thrown to us than Cook inside. Brian Cook for Illinois.
Well, Cook still on that bench. And he's been on that bench just about this whole second half. Remember when he picked up his 3rd foul. Has not been a factor.
Bradford, foul on Weeks. I keep thinking back about what Billy Donovan was saying yesterday when talking to him. His team with that emotional win Friday afternoon, the running winner by Mike Miller. And he said in the locker room, guys were crying and hugging. And he said, I looked around the scene and I said, I think this is going to, in the end, bring us closer together as a team. You know, we're going to draw off that emotion in a very positive way, not a draining way.
Well, you saw Billy over there, a guy who knows all about emotion with he and Rick Pitino and that Providence club that worked their way all the way to the Final Four.
1987. In fact, I asked Billy, how many game-winning shots did you hit in your career at Providence? He said he would say 2 were buzzer beaters, but he did have one in that tournament run to the Final Four against Austin Peay in the second round. He's at about 10 seconds. Hey, there's a close finish going on. We're going to send you quickly to Greg Gumbel.
Greg Gumbel in New York, top seed Stanford in the South, in trouble against North Carolina. Let's take you live to Birmingham, Alabama. Dick Enberg and James Worthy.
Felt they had limited chance to advance, and here they are, 26.7 seconds away from knocking out the #1 seed Stanford Cardinal. They lead 57-53. Stanford has never beaten North Carolina in 8 previous games. Peppers gets it in, and the immediate foul on the freshman Joseph Forte as Mendez stops the clock. Just a half-second use, his second foul.
Well, Carolina really spreading the floor almost in a box in order to break the pressure, thinking that Forte and Cota can outquick their men to get open. Take a look at the Stanford bench right now. A little bit concerned with only 26 seconds left, knowing that they have to foul and depend on Carolina missing free throws from here on out.
This talented freshman Forte. He's a 74% free throw shooter. Misses that one as Chris Lang and the Carolina bench with their deepest hopes riding with Forte. He gets 1 out of 2. 5-point lead.
A little light pressure added by Carolina. Not to give up the easier, but here comes Mosley.
McDonald to Mosley. He goes for the 3, and it's partially blocked, and Haywood gets it in the foul immediately by Stanford that stops the clock at 16.3, and North Carolina goes to the other end with a 5-point lead. Mark Manson with his 4th foul, and things have grown to a desperate stage for the men from Stanford as North Carolina, 8th seed. And a couple of years ago, they went into the tournament in the same manner. Actually, 10 years ago when they were the 8th seed. That's the worst seed they've had in 10 years. Repeating this year, they did defeat Oklahoma in the second round, and Oklahoma was #1. First one is missed by Haywood.
Carolina's done a better job. I think one of the key factors is that they did not allow Stanford to get the offensive boards that they got in the first half. Hayward misses the second.
5-point game. Hurrying into the offensive end is McDonald. Jacobson from about 35 feet away. And the rebound, Carolina, solo Forte, and that should do it. Forte slam will send North Carolina into the Sweet 16. It's over. A big upset in Birmingham. The North Carolina Tar Heels win it 60-53.
Somewhere Dean Smith is smiling. Let's send you back to the game that you're watching.
We are back with the Gators leading under 10 to play, in front by 13. They've been in full control this second half.
Here you see Johnson got hit accidentally by Harvey that time, right in the face. I guess he's going to come out, a little blood in the mouth, but Harvey did not intend to hit him that time. They were just going for the rebound. An accidental hit.
He's taking a couple of hits here.
Yeah, he had. Earlier in the game, he got hit. Now, you can see Harvey gets a little bit of the nose, then comes back, and strictly accidental.
This crowd reacting to the North Carolina score.
Well, no team in the country has been maligned the way North Carolina has in its home state this year, Jim. A team that has been unproductive, but now looks like they have a nice role going in the NCAA tournament.
Boy, I think of North Carolina in Austin in 1990, playing the 1 seed. They were the 8 seed, and Rick Fox banked home a little shot driving to the basket to knock out the 1 seed in Austin. That was a second-round game. And now the Tar Heels have knocked off a 1 again 10 years later, and they're going to Austin and the regionals.
That was the year that everybody figured that Dean Smith would no longer get to the Sweet 16, and that as an 8 seed they were able to make it and keep that string going.
String that went all the way until a run-in with Boston College
right.
in '94. Violation, traveling, called against the Gators.
Boston College team that eventually played Florida. And Florida went to the Final Four.
They met in the regional final. Boston College and Lon Kruger's Gators.
And now with 10 minutes to go, 13 down, Illinois just doesn't seem to be able to play the kind of game that they want. And I still go back to Cook. Cook played outstanding and made all-tournament in the Big Ten. Miller with a nice play.
Into the arms of Brown, but back come the Gators.
Good hit ahead.
3-on-1, and Miller gets it back. Steps past Trapaglia. Outside, they say he was hit by Zamir Trapaglia.
How about this change off the pass by Miller on this play? I mean, he's going full speed in one direction, changes completely. Trapaglia can do nothing but put his hands out to try to stop him. Again, frenetic action, all Florida basketball. This is the way they like to play. Miller will jump right back out on the court and then make the great play with his change off the dribble to get fouled.
1-and-1. And rebound by Wright.
That was right. I thought it was Harvey again.
Under 9 to play.
You know who's been solid this half? Nelson. You know, he's really directed the game, hasn't he?
He's got 16 points. Top man for the Gators. He's up some clock. Missed the layup. Weeks. It'll be Illinois ball. The Gators have led this entire half by as many as 14, and it's still a 13-point margin with 8:24 remaining.
Jim, Illinois really out of sync, aren't they? You can't see anything that is working for them. There's no consistency in their offensive ideas. You have shots from the outside, guys handling the ball that really aren't in the position to be the ball handlers that we just saw right there. So Florida is able to turn this into a full-court game, and Illinois has not adjusted.
Florida has 4 players in double figures, and more importantly, defensively, they shut down Illinois the final 6:50 of the first half without a field goal.
Well, they shut them down because Illinois thought that they could run with them.
Williams, the whistle, and rebound Gators. Weeks. Stripped away McClain. He's got Williams to his right. Steps past Weeks. Oh, what a play. Weeks knocks it out of bounds.
Sensational play. Weeks studied that drive and knew he'd come from behind to slap it away.
For City of Angels, the address is CBS Wednesday.
In my games, what I'm trying to create are these fantastic experiences that kind of go beyond the experiences of normal life. So what I was doing here was something I'd seen my father do on Skylab to create artificial gravity. Merrill Lynch has managed to allow me to fund my creative activities. John's listened to me as an investor. He's been able to understand my needs and engineer a plan to get me there. My next goal is to be able to buy a flight into space.
Drive the car, get the ball. Test drive a new Oldsmobile, get a $50 certificate toward the ball or any other sports gear from MVP.com. Go to Oldsmobile.com for details. Then drive the car and get the ball.
Your car's been in an accident, and the repairs are taking too long. The problem's not your body shop, it's your insurance company. I can't fix cars, but I can cut the red tape, so my customers get their cars back faster. You're in good hands with Allstate. Mine.
Here you go.
Thanks.
Everyone loves Wendy's chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets, please.
Didn't I just see you?
They're all white meat.
Nuggets, please.
That was quick.
And just 99 cents.
Chicken nuggets, please.
They had me going for a minute.
A small price to pay for great chicken.
Look, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Florida with a commanding lead over Illinois here at Winston-Salem. And as successful as Florida's basketball team's been, it still comes second in popularity to the football team. As to generate interest, Billy Donovan started a 3-on-3 tournament, coaches versus students 4 years ago. The students win, they get a chance to go on an SEC road trip with the team. Coaches, Donovan and Anthony Graham, John Pelfrey have won all 4 tournaments, but at 34, Donovan's told me it's getting a little bit harder every year to win, and sources have told me he was pretty banged up after the last tournament, Jim.
I still think that's a lot of talent, though. You talk about Billy Donovan, Anthony Graham, John Pelfrey. Wow. Pelfrey, of course, with that Kentucky team, the Unforgettables. Bradford had to have it.
Well, there was a 2-3 zone set up by Florida that time. Bradford found an opening.
Triple brings it down to 10.
Florida has basically been man-to-man all game. Just want to do something a little different on that timeout.
Miller surveying, wants to take on McClain and a reach in.
Miller, very, very difficult guy to guard, Jim. You know, if a small guy goes on him, he takes him inside with his quick dribble, goes over the top. Big guy, he's just too quick for, and he can step way out with unlimited range on his jump shot.
That's the 10th team foul for Illinois. 2 shots the rest of the way. Double bonus.
You look across the line on Mike Miller. He's playing 29 minutes a game. Everything is solid. You know, shooting right at about 50%. Over 36% from the three-point line. 72% free throw shooter. He's got 83 assists, 61 turnovers. I mean, everything about his game on the offensive end particularly is all-American caliber. He's an all-SEC player and will be even more than that in the future.
Hit an all-America shot, beat out Butler at the buzzer in overtime. His first game-winning shot since his sophomore year at Mitchell High School in South Dakota. Kripaljev going the other way.
Now, you know, you would think that Kripaljev would understand that he cannot be the ball handler on this team. He's got to catch it when he's open, give it up to the ball handler, and go get some rebounds. He's been involved with at least 4 or 5 turnovers here in the second half.
He's been whistled for 4 fouls, so has McClain.
People probably wonder statistically why is Hamilton in the ball game getting his playing time. Is because he does not turn the ball over for Florida. And there's Miller showing that versatility I talked about.
He has 15 now to go with 8 rebounds. Florida trying to go to the Sweet 16 for the 2nd straight year. That's never happened in school history, back-to-back years.
Well, when Illinois looks back at this basketball game and reviews the film, they'll see that they got out of sync completely when they really had their first lead of the game in the first half. And they have not played well since. Florida doing a great job.
Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, Touched by an Angel and The Color of Love. J.C. Story starring Louis Gossett Jr. and Gina Rollins tonight on CBS. 6:37 remaining. Winner advances to Syracuse and the regionals. McClain inside battling 2 Gators. Draws the foul.
He is so strong. Right said, what more can I do with him on the inside? But you're looking at a powerful competitor here in McClain.
4 on right, 2 shots for McClain.
I think sometimes, you know, his competitive juice is flowing so hard right now. He wants his team to get back in this game. He's just going to fight. There was talk mid-season that he was so discouraged, he was thinking about transfer, and he said that was never the case. And certainly since that time, he's resumed that leadership that he had before.
Knocks down a pair. Bonner comes back for the Gators. But the Illini unable to penetrate that double-digit margin.
Well, the only way you're going to do it now is not turn the ball over and really play some solid D's and get some stops.
But that hasn't been evident that they're capable of doing that. Pay looking for a solid screen. Johnson really jumping out there nicely.
Miller really wanted it down in the corner. 12 on the shot.
That was a very good switch. McLean came out. Johnson then went and took McLean's man.
Bonner, freshman. Not this time. McLean again with the rebound.
That was a pretty good defensive effort by Illinois on that trip. Cook back in there with 2 points today, 0 points on Friday. And he's got to get active in the low post. There's still time.
Cook handling the ball for a long time, gives it up Bradford. 3.
Difficult shot.
Bouncing around, Johnson picks up the loose change.
Good job by Cook. Set the screen and then went in for the offensive rebound. Kept that ball alive.
Tulsa has eliminated the Bearcats of Cincinnati.
Well, we'll never know what they could have done with Kenyon Martin. Tough break. Not to take anything away from Tulsa.
Tulsa's heading to Austin and the South Regional on Friday.
As long as they stayed away from Jerry Tarkanian and Fresno State, they can handle anybody. Huh?
People love that team. Haslam with a hook.
And here's the problem. Haslam too strong for Cook inside. Just using him every time that Cook goes in defensively to play. And there's another play away from the ball.
Bradford trying to get position on the blocks against Dupay. Take a look at the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. Bench production high on both sides, but better on the Gator end. Get complete NCAA tournament coverage at cbs.sportsline.com.
That was a frustration foul by Bradford. If you're thinking, and you saw that the referees were calling all of those fouls away from the ball with any kind of action, you know you better not make that foul.
You know, with Cincinnati going out, Conference USA is eliminated from the tournament. 4 bids coming in, but Louisville, DePaul, Cincinnati, St. Louis are all out.
One victory between the batch, right?
Just Cincinnati's first round.
Yep.
Win over Wilmington. So 2 number 1s have fallen here in the second round.
And 2 2s.
And there's still a 1 to come. Kansas will take on 1 seed Duke on this floor after this one.
And you wonder why Illinois gets caught with a non-ball handler getting the ball on that first pass. It's because Bradford has run down to the end line, hoping that he could be the guy that then would receive the pass for the shot.
Bradford, nice move, and a timeout called. Kruger wants to come up with some 4-minute, 24-second strategy
to try to extend this game.
You know, it's times like these I think about the wide track Grand Prix. Its speed-sensitive steering gives you road gripping control, so even tight corners won't get you off track. Oh, the wide track Grand Prix. Wider is better. By Pontiac.
Beginning Tuesday, April 4th, an extraordinary television event, they call it. Falcone, FBI's best agent, is undercover in the mob. Jason Gedrick stars as Falcone. Don't miss this compelling new drama coming to CBS Tuesday, April the 4th. Now, we talked about the West bracket, so turbulent. This one, you know, with UCLA a 6, but other than that, the top
6
seeds
playing like a 1.
Oh, really? UCLA and Iowa State will be matched up Thursday. Michigan State against Syracuse. Good regional coming to Auburn Hills. Earl hours drive away from East Lansing.
Earl Watson yesterday really put on some kind of show. Shooting, ball handling, defense, leadership. Incredible.
UCLA assist mark for a game.
Right. Jerron Rush and Watson have been playing with each other for a long time. I think he threw one of those lob passes from beyond half court right on the money for Rush to put it away.
Ted Dupay. out of Fort Myers, Florida.
Young man has a rotator cuff problem. You got to give him a lot of credit for playing with that. Jim will be operated on at the end of the season.
You know what's unique? He grows up in Florida. Billy Donovan grows up out on Long Island. They played for the same high school coach.
Yep.
Frank Morris.
Probably gives you a pretty good in to recruit somebody, huh?
I would think it doesn't hurt.
Hey, Coach, tell him what kind of guy I was and how you'd like to play for me.
Asked Billy D, the most influential people in his life for basketball. He said, number 1, my dad, who was a great player at Boston College. Number 2, Frank Morris, and number 3, Rick Pitino, and all 3 equally. Not rating them 1, 2, 3, but those were the 3. Temple and Seton Hall are tied in the last 2 minutes. Loose ball, scramble, Miller on the floor, and a tie-up. The arrow belongs to the Illini.
Well, we had 4 big bodies down on the floor looking for that one. Williams was so surprised he was so wide open that he kind of lost the handle inside. Remember when Donovan was coached by Rick Pitino, and he said, well, what am I going to need to do to play for? And he said, drop 25 pounds and start working harder. There you see those big men on the floor.
His team's still working on it with the lead.
Policeman, fireman, the mayor of my town. The dude's hanging off of the paper truck. Mr. Chang, down at the local deli, sells me morning coffee, wishes me good luck. This is for the people in my neighborhood. They help me through the day and make me feel good. This spot's for you. And you and you and you. This spot's for you.
There's always a combination of taking your knowledge and applying it. For example, I know who the shooter is. I know what he does, what he thinks, under stress, how he'll act, what's his favorite thing to do, what's his least favorite thing to do. And I got most of my rebounds before he took the shot.
Knowledge is the edge. At Invesco, it's the approach we use to make money for investors. You should know what Invesco knows.
Drive the car, get the ball. Test drive a new Oldsmobile, get a $50 certificate toward the ball or any other sports gear from MVP.com. Go to Oldsmobile.com for details. Then drive the car and get the ball.
To see inside the human heart, a doctor once needed a scalpel. But with ultrasound systems from Agilent Technologies, doctors can now spot problems that once went undetected. And sometimes even fix them without surgery. To see inside the human heart is to sometimes see relief.
How many patients can one doctor see in one day?
Mr. Tompkins.
What's his problem?
He's dead.
I can't fix that. An all-new record-breaking Becker, CBS Monday.
Jim Nance, Billy Packer, Bonnie Bernstein, and Winston Salem. Florida got the early edge and then slumped. Saw Illinois go in front by 7.
You know what? They might have faked them into that, Jim. You know what I mean? They weren't playing well at the start. All of a sudden, they allowed Illinois to think that they could play that kind of a game, and all of a sudden, before they knew it, Illinois was completely out of it right before the half. And they've just been trading baskets here in the second half. Never able to get the inside presence going with Griffin and Cook.
A 19-6 run, Billy, the last 7 minutes of the first half. And the Gators been in control ever since. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Williams.
He's really good at that shot. Doesn't fall for him.
Johnson comes out with it, though.
They're looking for Bradford for his jump shots and hit it.
And he has 3 more, 24 for sophomore Corey Bradford.
Nice job that time by Johnson to find the open man. Another one of those touch fouls. Hamilton will go to the line.
Hamilton, somewhat, we talked about how interchangeable the Gators have been, but he had his first career start in the SEC tournament. Is that a big gamble for a team? When you get that late in the season, you make a change?
I really don't think so in this respect. What he does for this team, Jim, is he does not occupy the ball a lot, and he does an excellent job in regard to assist-turnover ratio. They really have guys in the backcourt that are scoring mentality. Teddy Dupay's a scorer mentality. So Hamilton comes in the game, plays 15 minutes, 40 assists, only 27 turnovers.
Greg Gumbel in New York. We'll get you back to Florida, Illinois, but in Buffalo, Temple hoping to avoid becoming the third #2 seed to be eliminated. 37 seconds to play. Ian Eagle and Jim Spinarkel are there.
7 seconds to play. You see the team fouls. Both teams from here out will be in the double bonus. Timeout situation, 2 apiece. Possession arrow favors Temple, but Shaheen Holloway cannot play because of an injured left ankle. And Juan Pepe Sanchez cannot play because he just picked up his 5th foul.
And you look at the situation right now. 37 seconds left on the clock, 35 on the shot clock. Temple, in my estimation, should try to get a bucket here. Not 3, but go for the bucket and go to the basket, because Seton Hall, the guys on the floor, are not great free throw shooters except for Caucanis.
Temple down by 3. 2-second difference, shot clock to game clock. Karcher, a 3. Yes!
What an answer! What an answer!
57 apiece. 24.7 left to play. A timeout.
There's always a combination of taking your knowledge and applying it. For example, I know who the shooter is. I know what he does, what he thinks, under stress, how he'll act, what's his favorite thing to do, what's his least favorite thing to do. And I got most of my rebounds before he took the shot.
Knowledge is the edge. At Invesco, it's the approach we use to make money for investors. You should know what Invesco knows.
Tied up, and Temple really has answered. Karcher just sizes one up, playing with a hand in his face. Nothing but money.
24 points for Karcher, 6 of 12 from 3-point range. The Temple bench reacts accordingly. All knotted up. 57-57, 24.7 left.
A situation right now where Seton Hall can just sit on it. The thought process being that from the Seton Hall perspective, the worst thing that can happen if you don't turn it over, you go into overtime.
Shot clock turned off. 10 seconds.
They'll want to shoot this right around the 3-second mark if they can.
Here's Shine on a spin. Shine looks for an open man. Finds Wilkins for the upset. We're going to overtime.
Ty Shine found himself up against a wall, spun out of it. Oh, does Temple ever duck one there?
Kevin Wilkins with a chance to win it at the end of regulation. Instead, it's OT. Seton Hall going the extra session for the 2nd consecutive game. We're coming back.
Well, Temple survives to at least fight during overtime. We'll keep you updated. Meanwhile, back in Winston-Salem, the Florida Gators looking to put the cap on the Fighting Illini. Let's send you back to Jim Nance and Billy Packer.
The Florida ball with a 12-point lead over Illinois. The last time the Illini got below 10 was at the 11:50 mark in this half. 27 for Bradford. Miller 17 points, 9 rebounds. And that will send right to the line for 2. We're in the double bonus.
In a game of contrast, you have, as we said, Florida, a team that you cannot allow to play their game. They want to play frenetic pace. They don't mind turning it over occasionally. They don't mind taking a bad shot occasionally, but they want to get that tempo going. Illinois fell into the trap, tried to play the same game, and they're not as good at it as is Florida, and that's the reason we're looking at a score that's been double digits for what seems like an eternity.
Plus, Florida's hitting its free throws, Billy. Right? Both of them. 27 of 33 from the line for Florida.
They're a team, Jim, that should. I mean, they're shooting 70% on the year.
18 of 21 in the second half, almost 90%. Griffin, jumper, yes.
That is Illinois' game. And we haven't seen much of it today.
Tough pass, got it to Weeks, just past the outstretched arm of Bradford.
Weeks realizing right now the key is the clock. Not worry about scoring. Of course, you don't want to foul Weeks. He's the all-time best free throw shooter at Florida, shooting over 90% this year. Hadn't gone to the line enough to qualify nationally, but made 33 in a row at one point. That was stopped at against Auburn in the SEC tournament. But Miller is 72% free throw shooter, so not bad either. Weeks on the year, 49 for 51. So if you are Florida, you'd love to have him on the line.
And 2 more made free throws for the Gators.
Billy Donovan just said to Weeks, no double on the low post. Now let's see, since that's going to be the case, what he wants is good defense out on the perimeter to take away the threes.
McClain 3. Bounces out. And still Illinois possession. Brian Cardinal and Purdue are in the Sweet 16. His father, well, his father is not going to make it to the Sweet 16. The trainer, Ron Cardinal, for the Fighting Illini. He'll get to go watch his son play next week. We'll be right back.
Kilago, alone on Kilago, how empty it seems with only my dreams.
Introducing the 3.2 CL from Acura.
This game, Billy and I will be selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game. Well, in fact, let's do it right now. Let's wait no longer. Nelson with 16 points. Corey Bradford, 27 for Illinois. And Chevrolet makes a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need.
Well, Jim, let's think about this Florida club. Extremely young, 4-way tie in the SEC for first place. And they had an opportunity to win it outright when they went to Kentucky and lost there.
Williams slides off the rim.
Very young team. They like to score a lot of points. They like to play a full court style. Lost 2 games to Tennessee this year, both in overtime. That's the first time in Florida basketball history they lost to the same team in overtime. 1 overtime and 1 in double overtime.
Seton Hall has the quick jump on Temple, up 4 in overtime. I'll say this. We talked last week. We were sitting at the Big Ten tournament, courtside, waiting for the selections to be revealed. We were saying the hardest thing this year for the committee is to figure out the seedings, how you rate them. And McClain has fouled out. He's got 1 more year, and some year it should be next year for Illinois. Almost everybody back. But when you look at the seedings, I thought 2 teams did not get seeded properly. When you're talking about 64, maybe that's not all that bad. But I thought that Florida would be higher than a 5. They were never ranked worse than 13th all season long, including the final poll, and they ended up being a 5 seed, and Kansas as an 8.
Well, we heard the committee talk about the seeding of the SEC teams. That league had such a great year, and basically what they said is that nobody distinguished themselves or separated themselves from anybody else in that league. So how could you make 1 of 2 and another 1 of 4? And I think that made some common sense. When you take a look at LSU, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Florida. Florida had a chance. If they had beaten Kentucky, I think you're looking at it too.
Sergio McClain, who is only accustomed to winning championships. 4 state championships in 4 years at Peoria Emmanuel. The urgency of the NCAA tournament. You just, it's so fragile that all the dreams can disappear so fast. Just talk to Arizona or St. John's. Billy Donovan talked about it. That's what this team learned last year, falling to Gonzaga in the Sweet 16. He said just how quickly you can lose something. Our team walked away realizing that last year in the tournament. We're advancing Florida now to Syracuse and the East Regionals. Friday, Sunday site at Syracuse.
Well, you remember who Florida lost to last year, Jim? With Gonzaga. A team that is back in the hunt this year.
A 17-point lead. Florida, boy, they have been tremendous front runners today. Bradford comes out. What a game today after being off the mark Friday. Broken nose and all, playing in the tournament. He'll have surgery tomorrow. It was scheduled win or lose. And he would have been back had their fortunes been another story today. He would have been able to return from the surgery and play in the Sweet 16. He's out with 27.
Broke his own record, three-point shooting this year. We'll be back, and as you said, this will be a very strong team next year in college basketball, this being Illinois, and for that matter, so will Florida.
And so will really all four teams at Winston-Salem, young and loaded. And even Mike Krzyzewski said we could have here an assemblage of the Final Four of next year at this East Region site. Florida can start the celebration. Christine Donovan, she's up there somewhere celebrating. The Gators are going to Syracuse. There she is. Billy Donovan's done something never accomplished before at Florida. Back-to-back years in the Sweet 16. Florida convincing today over Illinois. Let's go to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim, so things are settled in Winston-Salem. Not so in Buffalo in the East Region. Seton Hall and Temple, a minute 13 to play in overtime. The Owls by 1. Ian Eagle and Jim Spanarka.
Coming up on 1 minute to play in overtime. Temple leading Seton Hall 64-63. And a timeout taken. 1:03 left. Owls have the ball when we come back.
Fireman, the mayor of my town. The dude's hanging off of the paper truck. Mr. Chang, down at the local deli, sells me morning coffee, wishes me good luck. This is for the people in my neighborhood. They help me through the day and make me feel good. This spot's for you. And you and you and you. This spot's for you.
Game reset. Temple with a 64-63 advantage. A minute 3 left on the clock. You see the timeout situation. Possession arrow favoring Temple. And the Owls do have the ball. 2 missed free throws from Greg Morton that could have given Seton Hall the lead.
Well, with 1:03, strategy starts to mount right now at both ends of the floor. Seton Hall's perspective, down 1. You want to make sure you play sound defense. And if the shot clock does wind down, do not get caught reaching needlessly.
Here's Greer. 1 minute left on the clock. In OT.
Remember, no Sanchez on the floor, so a different look from the point.
Wadley defended by Quaquinus. Using the clock with 12 to shoot. 47 seconds to play. Temple up by 1. Archer, pump fake, spin, loses the ball, but a reach-in foul.
Lane is the culprit. Dallenberg stepped across beautifully on the defensive end. Karcher spins away from it, and the Lane reach-in.
Mark Karcher goes to the free throw line.
Look at Dallenberg there with the beautiful step across, and Lane coming down across the arm. Karcher will hit to the line.
2 of 6 here today. 58% of the season. And he gets the roll on the first. Coming up next, more action from the NCAA tournament. Miami and Ohio State. And the top seed in the East, Duke, taking on Kansas. Florida beating Illinois. Well, the Gators will move on. 1 out of 2 for Karcher. And a 2-point game with 40.2 remaining in overtime. Pirates have the basketball when we come back to Buffalo.
Honey?
Michelob Light has a smooth, satisfying taste you won't find in an ordinary light beer.
Hi, baby.
Oh, hi, Daddy.
Beer or Michelob Light.
At age 23, he set out to do what no computer company had ever done. Build every computer to order, pack every computer with service, and work hand in hand with every customer. As the world's leading direct marketer of computer systems, Dell is far outpacing the industry growth rate. Where do you learn about companies that are actually changing the way the world does business? Exactly. NASDAQ. Stock market for the digital world.
Temple 65, Seton Hall 63 in overtime. Take a look at the big picture now. What's taking place here in Buffalo. Oklahoma State, the 3 seed, has already moved on to Syracuse. They will meet the winner of this Temple-Seton Hall matchup. Florida knocks off Illinois, so the 5 seed moves on, and they will await the survivor of Duke, Kansas, coming up. And you will be seeing the Duke-Kansas game coming up from Winston-Salem.
Not going to be crazy enough to make any predictions anymore. It's up for grabs, the way I'm looking at this.
Owls lead by 2. Pirates playing in their second consecutive overtime game to open up the 2000 NCAA tournament.
Want Shine to handle the basketball as much as possible here.
A 6-second difference. Shot clock to game clock.
Down 2, you can go towards the basket, but don't be surprised to see Calcanis or Lane try to light one up.
Here's Calcanis off penetration. Shine couldn't handle it initially. 17 to shoot. 20 seconds to play in OT. Shine a 3. Got it!
What an afternoon for Ty Shine from long range. In Amica's mind, right from the start, go for 3.
Career high 26 for Shine. And Seton Hall leads by 1. Timeout Temple with 14.6 to play in overtime.
This is your new business. And this is your new car. The new Volvo V40. Now get back to work. Every bit of Volvo for about $24,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Flight 126 has been cancelled. There is another flight, Union Atlantic Air Flight 176, at a gate 54. It has 5 remaining seats.
MySAP.com helps companies and people work together in real time.
Correction, 4 remaining seats.
Hey. It has been Ty Shine's afternoon, filling in for the injured Shaheen Holloway. A rip from long range. And there have been some stories this tournament season, but none better developing than this one right now.
Ty Shine stepping in for the injured Shaheen Holloway. It was Holloway that won the first-round game for Seton Hall. Holloway trying to stand up so he can see it. The final 14.6 in overtime. Seton Hall leading by 1. Line hands to Greer. 10 seconds to play. Matched up with Shine. Greer makes his move. Greer in the lane. Gives it up. Throws it away.
Tom Hammerkin wants to talk things over.
Seton Hall will have the basketball with 4.8 remaining and a 1-point lead to move on to Syracuse.
this gas station.
Oh, classic oversqueeze. Watch this. Release the hounds. Perfect pump. 2037.
Even at the gas station, you can do more with the American Express card.
A 260 horsepower CL Type S from Acura.
A tough, solid stance of defense has put Seton Hall in a position to win this basketball game. 5 guys working hard. Dallenberg, another factor defensively. The big guy goes out. Bad pass underneath him.
Shaheen Holloway. Grueling for him to watch this. Normally, he's accustomed to being in there in the pressure moments. And now Seton Hall has to get it in. A foul called before the inbounds pass was even attempted. And they look for the lowest percentage shooter on the floor, Greg Morton, who missed 2 earlier.
This is where you don't have any choice, though. Pepe Sanchez up, encouraging his teammates, but no choice with the inbounds pass.
There are no timeouts remaining. Earlier, Holloway reacted standing on his right leg, the good one, after the throwaway by Lynn Greer. And now Morton at the free throw line with 4.8 left. As mentioned, no timeouts left for either team. Seton Hall leads by 1. 52% free throw shooter. Oh, calmly hits the first.
And cleanly also. Seton Hall has to be ready to react right here. Defensively, regardless of what happens, they have to stay away and not pick up the foul. Temple, on the other hand, has to get it and go.
Final 4.8. Morton's second free throw. That one is no good. No timeouts remaining. Greer, 1 second for the win. Oh, good. Seton Hall has done it. They upset the number 2 seed in the East, Temple, in overtime, 67-65. The Pirates are going to Syracuse in the Sweet 16.
What caused the problem here, the guards had to come back for the basketball. Look at the guards for Seton Hall, though. Jump, stay away. Very close off the left rim. The story is complete for Tommy Amaker.
He has experienced this as a player, as an assistant coach, but never as a head coach. And the emotions for Shaheen Holloway, how sweet it is. Forced to go to the hospital with an injured left ankle, x-rays negative, and then he sees Lynn Greer, desperation heave at the end of overtime. And once again, John Chaney will come up short in his bid to get to a Final Four. 67-65, Seton Hall wins it in overtime over Temple, and the Pirates move on. That's it from here. Let's go to New York. Craig Helmer.
All right, Ian, thank you very much. Temple becomes the 3rd number 2 seed to fall in the tournament. Seton Hall a winner, 67-65. They will meet Oklahoma State next. Those of you expecting action in Birmingham, UConn, and Tennessee are underway. The Volunteers lead at 9-8. We'll be sending you there. Looking for action in Nashville, Tennessee, Miami, and Ohio State. The Buckeyes lead at 7-6 in the early moments. Those of you ticketed to that game, we will send you there. And in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, tip time for Kansas and Duke is 5:15. We will send you folks off to Nashville for the start of, or for action there, and then get you to Winston-Salem for the start of your game. And all of that will happen coming up right after this message and a word from your local station.
Before you do this or this or this,
You want to have this and this and this.
You'd be surprised how much of our technology goes into your day.
So for this, or this.
We're Siemens.
We can do that.
Jason Gedrick stars in Falcone, beginning April 4th on CBS.
Don't panic the clients, but we gotta get out of RHP now.
What just happened?
I'd like to introduce our new CEO and my kid brother, Tommy.
CEO! See the story behind the numbers. Go to cbs.marketwatch.com.
Some see a block of wood. Some a solid bounded by 6 equal squares. Inflexible thought. The world's easiest Rubik's Cube. A way to reach the highest book on the shelf. A television set abandoned on the side of a deserted road. At Expedior, we'll help you look at e-business in entirely new ways. Expedior. Imagine and soar.
You can't get through there.
No, I can do this.
Just chip out.
No, I can get through there.
Just chip it out.
No, I can get through there, watch.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I should have chipped out, huh?
Custom clubs for greater accuracy. Chipshot.com.
This portion of NCAA basketball is brought to you by your local Ford store.
Torrid shooting to open our game here in Nashville. Game 2 of the second round session in Nashville. Miami 5 of 7 from the floor. Ohio State 4 out of 7. And a 3-point lead for the Hurricanes, up to 4 now. We'll return in a moment.
For family law, the address is CBS.
It seems like they were thinking about it from the beginning.
In the 1930s, they built their first safety test vehicle.
In 51, they patented front and rear crumple zones.
In 1960, they patented their safety steering system.
And pioneered anti-lock brake in 78.
In 1997, they built a more crash-compatible SUV.
Now, big-ass vehicles with 8 airbags.
Because one thing has always been most important.
A computer that is so last century. Introducing iPac, the first internet device for business. A kinder, simpler device with the Intel Pentium 3 processor that taps into the power of the internet and meets all your business computing needs. The age of simple internet computing has arrived. iPac from Compaq.
He's in the garage.
Hey!
If you're going to have a garage, have a garage. And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Penn's oil with Pure Base, specially formulated for stop-and-go driving.
Like what I've done with the place? Hey, what does this do? Well, that opens up the roof so I can airlift anything in or out of the garage.
Stop. Go. Penn's oil.
Let's see. College in 4 years, costs up 40% over the next 5. Somebody do the math here.
It'd be great if our money would grow as fast as these kids. I can't believe.
Will paying for college be as painful as this? Let's get rid of it.
Hey, that kid just dropped a pretzel? Because I like pretzels. I really like
We'll be able to help with their
I
education.
wonder if we should have put that money in a trust. Maybe we would have.
I hope she was kidding about college in Hawaii.
Thank you, Payne Weber.
home of the Grand Ole Opry, playing host to the Grand Ole game of Dr. Naismith. Tulsa already punching its ticket, awaiting the winner of Ohio State Miami with Jimmy Dykes and Rolando Blackman. I'm just surrounded by guards. Tim Brando, happy to have you with us. And guard play is at a premium today, particularly with Penn and Red.
Well, anytime you take a look at Penn and Red, you've got some devastating players, guys who are extremely dominating in the game that they play. And also, Jim O'Brien's always saying these guys can take over a basketball game. And they both do it very differently, but also can shoot, pass, dribble, and also take over a game. They do a great job, and they're part of the best in the country today.
For those of you that have just joined us, George Reese did pick up 2 quick fouls. So Chove Osokolic, number 34, Slobodan, his given name, has checked in for the first time. Reese did make a couple of buckets before picking up those 2 quick fouls. So it's Brown, Red, Osokolic, Johnson, and Penn for Ohio State. And the iron kind to Ken Johnson.
That was very kind because he was out of position on that play. Didn't take a very good shot. But the hook shot went for him.
Jones is checked into the game along with Sammons, and Scooney Penn will pick up that foul. For Miami, it's been defense, and the numbers against Ohio State. Familiarity sometimes breeds contempt, and for Leonard Hamilton in the Big East, Jim O'Brien knows a lot about him. He used to coach at Boston College. They really held those guards in check last year.
Well, for Miami, I think the important factor is Leonard knows exactly what he's doing, and being able to transfer that over to the players, they can hone in. And last year, when they played against Ohio State, these guys were 10 of 37 shooting, Scooney Penn and Michael Redd, and had a horrific night in the Miami win.
Well, congratulations indeed for Tommy Amaker, a bracket breaker today. A number of people, a posh pick was Temple. They handled that zone nicely, and even without Shaheen Holloway, he was carried off the court. Congratulations to Seton Hall, their best run since PJ was there in 1989. Well, we talked about the guards and what they're able to do. Scooney Penn is extra special.
Well, Scooney Penn is extra special because he commands the offense. Not only is he a point guard, but he's also a shooting guard. And Michael Redd, with the size that he has, commands a great attention also because he can go inside and also play a little forward.
James Jones of Miami, who just came into the game a moment ago, picked up that foul. Red shot won't fall, and Jones claims the rebound. The outlet to Hemsley.
The pace of this game is a Miami pace right now. They're getting an opportunity to control.
That's an extra step by Jones, and the turnover. Just as you mentioned, the speed of the game, perhaps not to the liking of Leonard Hamilton, but to this point, all of the big people for Leonard Hamilton have handled the ball well. I mean, you say, well, they don't have that prolific pure point. But Jennings leads the Big East in assists, and the big people can all handle it.
He does a super job, though, and not being able to shoot the ball, but also great job defensively, which is very important.
Brian Brown makes it a 15-14 game. First bucket for Brown.
We're going to have an X factor right there in Brown because everybody's worried about Scooney Penn, Michael Redd, Reese on the block. This is a good game also now for Brown to get in there and be getting coverage in a one-on-one area, which he can go off and do a good job.
Nice penetration here.
But Scooney does a good job, but once he gets that, the whole defense pulls in, and this allows Brian Brown to get a nice shot from three-point area. That's the tremendous piece of a good guard, though, being able to get more attention than the one player that's playing you.
Both teams shooting very well to open this game. In rhythm. Red fouled on the way up. Jody Sylvester spots it against Vernon Jennings, senior from College Park, Georgia. Spent time at Maine Central Institute. Max Good, name that I'm sure you remember well. Really helped a number of players as they prepare for the college game. A reminder, Kansas, an 8 seed. Number 1 seed Duke, already an 8, knocking out a 1 earlier today out of the ACC. North Carolina stunned Stanford in Birmingham.
Anytime you come into the tournament, though, with a little chip on your shoulder, with something extra to gain, and you play against a basketball team like Stanford, a great team, your athletic team can board, they utilize their opportunity well.
Well, that's one that the selection committee can look to with some degree of pride. A number of people question North Carolina being a part of the 64-team field at 18 and 13. And yet again, back into the Sweet 16 where many believe they belong. 4 turnovers now by Miami.
And turnovers on 2 successive possessions now. Leonard Hamilton has to get this team to settle down and be able to execute. They're playing good defense. The important factor is to be able to get a couple of offensive thrusts.
Ohio State got here by knocking out Appalachian State. Miami tested by the Razorbacks, champions of the Southeastern Conference tournament, and some question coming into this game. Miami appeared tired during that late run by Nolan Richardson's team that allowed them to claw to within 3 points by game's end.
Nolan Richardson has a young team, though, and you talk about fresh legs and being ready to go. Miami had to play very, very hard, and Arkansas just kept coming.
Michael Redd a tray, and the Buckeyes lead by 3. Nice pass to Hensley. Jennings, but it was into traffic, and another turnover. Jones slaps that one away. Excellent defensive work in transition by James Jones.
If you look at that play, every person on the Miami defense had their head right on Michael Redd. Did a great job of reading the play and getting that turnover.
7-0 run for Ohio State. And another turnover for the Canes.
It's just a beautiful play, though. As you run through, you can see the basketball coming right down. And the pass right through to the open player, though. That's what you draw and you dish. But Michael Redd made that play nice by going to the right side, being ready for the play.
So a 3-point lead and a 7-0 run, just over 2 minutes deep into this run, and a 3-point lead. 5 of the last 6 possessions for Miami have been turnovers.
You have to make sure and settle down, because that'll hurt you to continue to keep going in that direction, because you don't get any continuity going once you keep turning the ball over.
Reese back in the game with 2 fouls. Mario Bland, a quick outlet to Jennings, an excellent lead pass, looking for the push. I like the instincts on Bland. Hensley, that's his spot on the floor, and the foul goes against Bland. His second.
Definitely getting frustrated right there, too. He had the inside position. I think the official just saw the left arm go up a little bit. That's as the ball comes off the board, though. Bland has the inside position, but that arm...
the old chicken wing.
Oh, yes, and you know you're out of position also. You're going to sell that move to the official also to get that call, because there's about to be an offensive rebound.